All right. Hello. Hi everyone. Long time no chat. It's so funny. I was geeking out to my wife about yesterday's stream, and just because yesterday was such a go fast kind of day, and it's a go fast kind of day today, um, it was like I accidentally started recording on my end. Whoops. But because it was so go fast, I was like, wow, I've like gone how many how like it just feels like I saw you guys like just 2 seconds ago, and we're already back and together. But hello, thank you to everyone who's hanging out early here today. I know y'all could be a number of places. You chose to spend a little time here, so I really do appreciate it. If I sound a little tired, I slept in. I don't know, dude. It's something with my sleep schedule. Like I don't know if I'm going into unk status, bro. Like I need more than 8 hours these days. I do, and it's a little bit unfortunate, because I feel like I'm trying to be a more responsible sleeper, but it just seems like even if I stay up late, like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., I'm like, okay, I'll sleep 8 hours. That just doesn't do the trick, man. So yeah, we're gonna have to figure that one out. But good to see everyone here. Hope you're all doing absolutely excellent. Yeah, I know, Mad Flies. I am getting old here. Mr. Unk Plays, Large Hog Gamer is on one. That's a great name. Great name. But also facts. I don't know why my chat isn't coming up on screen right now. Does two streams in a row. And here we are. I'm already having tech issues here. I should be able to get that up and running. I don't know why. This should be, maybe it's just, there we go. Okay. Now it's up on my end. Maybe it was just delayed. It might have been the stream delay. I apologize. But yeah, really good to see you all. Appreciate you all being here. I expect a nice, big, healthy chat today. We're talking about the Developer Direct. Playground Games doing a double feature. Game Freak showing up. Secret Fourth Game, apparently a small indie title. I have very low expectations for... Why do I have this plugged in still? I have very low expectations for this show outside of Fable. As in, I'm not expecting to love anything here except I hope Fable. That's why I'm here. In fact, this is probably the least I've cared about a Developer Direct, because just across the board, like, Game Freak's terrible. Like, let's just call it as it is. Game Freak's terrible. And I'm not a racing game guy. And indie games are interesting, of course, but I don't know how interesting one from presumably Double Fine will be. And so that kind of leads it to Fable. Fable's got to carry the show. Doomwalker's our first super chat. Doomwalker, you get to be a test subject. So I was talking to the homie Dustin Furman last night, and okay, cool, this is working. He showed me a thing called Social Stream Ninja, because I like how the homies at Last Stand have it where when someone super chats, they click on it and you can actually see it on screen, because sometimes I don't get to the super chats till later. And so this should work. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure out where I want this super chat to live compared to the rest of the chat. Maybe I'll just scale it down a little bit. I was watching some of the stream highlights last night, and I realized the chat was huge. I think a little bit smaller might be good. But yeah, I can keep this on screen just like this. Look at that. Look at that. I get to highlight you guys and answer your questions in real time. Sheeny, it starts at 1 p.m., so we got about under an hour to go. So we're going to hang out for the hour and have a little fun here. All right. Let's get some super chats in here. Even if the games are mid, we get to hang out with Maddie. I appreciate you spending the time. Thank you. Oh my God. Hold on. There we go. Thank you, Bama Hayam, for your $5 donation. Tamor, great to see you as well. Thank you so much for your support here. The homie, Henry, giving the good juju pot for some of the new IP Shadow Drop Copium. Appreciate you, dude. Thank you. I would love nothing more than to see new IP here. I mean, I think that new indie game will be a new IP, but like, whoa, it'll be is a whole different story. Okay. Whoa, this is a big one. How do you decide what platform to review multi-platform games on? Some that I would expect you to review on Xbox, you play on PC or PS5. Others seem like it fits for PS5, but will be on Switch. How do you decide? Oh, great question. Really great question. Okay. So the way I decide these things is really up to the situation I'm in, to be honest with you. Like if I know I'm going to be like just home and just packed down here in the office, it's really easy to pick something like a PC because I know I'm going to be here recording it. And so that just makes it a lot easier where sometimes I need to be up and around the house, kind of put the controller down, pick it back up. So like portable gaming helps me a lot with that. So Steam Deck, things, sometimes I've reviewed games like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I reviewed, that did not allow you to stream the game or play it on Steam Deck. Like any way of getting the game outside of the first place you installed it was impossible. So like that taught me I need to be very strategic with the platforms I select. So that's a factor as well. Like how portable do I want my review experience to be? Streaming to like the PS Portal. That's a huge factor. Into it, the Logitech G Cloud, that helps a lot. And then the other thing that I consider is I look into the PC specs. You kind of feel it out before launch, and you have nothing to go on except your gut. You're like, okay, I'll take PS5. This looks safe. Or you look at the specs. Like right now, I'm looking at 007 First Light. If I got offered a review code for that, I'm not. Maybe I should, and then I think about it and say it out loud. But I would not want the PC version. Looking at those specs, that thing looks like it's horribly optimized. And number 4, I'll add a 4th reason here. I like trophies. So there are some games I'm like, well, if I really like this because I am excited about it, I might want to get the platinum. And that kind of helps me make a decision. So good question. Hopefully that answers it. Puppet Master Blade. Thank you for your $20 super chat. Very generous of you guys to be supporting the streams like this. How soft is this industry becoming? How soft the lore was in Starfield? How do you think they'll handle Molag Bal and Elder Scrolls 6? Do you think they'll keep the dark writing? Do you think they'll ignore his lore? So I think Starfield had some cool, darker moments in its main story. Like just, I shouldn't say darker moments, plural. I think of one. And then I think of it's so funny. It's like my favorite faction in Starfield, but I always forget the faction's name. Like it left enough of an impression to have a memorable quest line, but the actual faction name, I'm like, what was it again? The Vanguard. I got to search this one up. Starfield Vanguard faction. What is it called? UC Vanguard. All right. At least I remembered it this time. I like that storyline. So I do think the problem with Starfield is it's like a needle in a haystack situation. It's really hard to find the great content in Starfield. And I think it does exist. And I think some of it's even well written. Like I'll go that far. So, when it comes to Elder Scrolls 6, I hate to hate on Bethesda endlessly, but I only do it because I'm a huge fan of what they used to do. I don't have a ton of confidence in them right now. I don't know how you realistically can have a ton of confidence in them right now. So do I think they're going to go into those dark areas? Maybe. But as we've learned recently, Bethesda doesn't even have traditional writers. Their quest designers are writers. So they're kind of at the mercy of people who are inexperienced writers. And that can play out really well, like I've experienced before, but that can also play out terribly. So, when it comes to like ES6, my main hope above all else, I would take shittier writing if it meant they made more quality focused, tighter decisions. Like instead of everything being procedural like it was in Starfield, they did just make a handcrafted world. Because I don't think the writing in Skyrim is anything to write home about. I really don't. But it's such a great adventure that I don't care. So that's why I say, like, it's not to me about soft or not. It's like they need to make better worlds that can captivate us. That's what I personally want. So yeah, good question though. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much. Frothing Otter, thank you for your donation. Thank you for your donation. No one does it better than Colin, but hey, I'll try my best. Iron Rook, the homie, helping me get my health back on track. He said, while we wait, head over to Gene Park's GoFundMe and help our cocaine adult brother in his time of need. Yeah, please. I put it on my Twitter. Y'all can check it out there. Gene is going through cancer surgery right now. Very good friend of mine. Obviously participant at Last Stand Media as a host, but just an incredible dude. One of the, if not the best journalist out there currently. So he needs our help. Please support him. You'll find the links on my Twitter account at G27status. Thank you guys so much for these super chats here, though. I appreciate it. And that does remind me, speaking of Twitter, let me, real quick before I hit the chat up a little bit, let me just get a little stream promo out there so that those who are not on YouTube know we're live right now. Let's see here. Live reactions. Okay. I can't say what message I just read out loud, but I'm laughing. Fallout 3 New Vegas bundle shadow drops today. Also a Fallout 5 announcement today. Let's go. Hey, man. It's your world. Have fun in it. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Sorry, I was just posting the tweet so that people knew we were live. All right. Where were we? Let's see. Do you think Starfield will get some DLC airtime? Yeah. No. Could it? It could be like the secret fifth thing. If there's a secret fourth thing and fifth thing. We all know what the secret... We all know what it would be, right? Like, if they showed Bethesda Game Studios in this, we'd all be like, oh, it's Starfield, right? But I don't think it's here. I don't know. I just... Again, I said in yesterday's stream, I had the opportunity to see what they're working on next, so I don't want to say much more because I know how far along it is. But I you know, it wouldn't surprise me if we saw it top of the year, I guess, is how I would look at it. The homie Iron Rook again. Is Wayward Realms on your radar for the spiritual successor of Daggerfall 2? Well, yes, but I also need to play the first Daggerfall. So there's also that. But yeah, thank you for your donation. Okay, so I'm learning something new here about the these super chats here, which is that if I don't get to them in time, I have to ask Dustin about this. They fade away. Thank you for your donation, Lord Sunnyman. Thank you for your donation. Lord of the Rings Conquest Remaster? God willing, dude. Nothing would make me happier. I accidentally clicked on that one and then clicked on that one again. You have to combine 3 games to make the perfect game. What do you choose? What features from each game? Oh. Off the top of my head, I'm going Fable morality meter and like reactivity. I'm going Skyrim open world, and I'm going Baldur's Gate 3 combat. Divinity combat. That's what I'm going with. That is an expensive ass game, but hey, why not? What do we got here? I'm coping for a MW3 remaster. It's so funny. I saw it trending on Twitter, and just the negative part of myself came alive. I was like, that game fucking sucks, dude. I hated that game. So I hope you get it for your own enjoyment. For me, though, nothing would make me more annoyed. I don't like that game. But thank you for your super chat. I appreciate it. I think RPG studios should follow Larian on how to do RPGs. They should. We're seeing a lot of them do it. A lot of RPGs have started to do early access to kind of get fan feedback in, get themselves some additional funding, time for polish. Fan feedback to make them like more sharper, rounded out. So we're seeing it. It definitely is a risky play though, because no one's had the level of success Baldur's Gate 3 has had yet. Sorry, Manny, I meant to tell you the secret indie is ours. I submitted without your permission. Hope it's cool. Hey, why not? Imagine. Good Lord. What do you predict the Starfield PS5 release date will be? I'm gonna go with. I'm just gonna give you a quarter. I can't. Again. March. I feel like it should be sooner, but I'm gonna go March because I'm always wrong about these things, so I just want to like go later in the year. Exdis, thank you for your super chat. Very generous. Hey, what's up? How close do you think Bethesda is to getting the axe like Arcane did? I can't feel they're on thin ice from Microsoft. I think they're on thin ice with their fans. I don't think they're on thin ice with Microsoft. I like, for me personally, at least, I don't think there's any thin ice for Bethesda. I think it's all just like they're making a shit ton of money. They have a huge player base. So if I'm them, I'm not worried at all. I think they're one of the few companies that's actually safe, especially because if Microsoft is investing a ton in Fallout, Bethesda is seen as like something they're going to extract a lot of cash out of. And so if I'm Bethesda, I think the main thing I'm worried about is like I'm not working on anything that's not Fallout or Elder Scrolls. So I don't think they're on thin ice. Thank you for the super chat, though. Appreciate it. 2,000 of you here. Thank you so much for being here, guys. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any super chats. I apologize because the stream moved it up, so I might have missed a couple of your donations here. I did. Okay. I just want to get a couple here. Re4head Gaming was excited for Forza Horizon 6. I'm glad you're excited. I'm not excited for it. I know it's going to look great, but I'm just not like a racing game fan, so it's kind of like a little snoozer for me. Frothing Otter, thank you for your $5 super chat. High Voltage says, as long as the new Fable looks better in Fable 3, I'll be happy. People forget how mid Fable 3 was. Yeah, like the story for Fable 3 I thought was good, but obviously everything that was in between it was kind of bad, so I feel you. Beige Raider says, Maddie and LSM streaming at the same time hurts me. I'm sorry. We're all streaming. I think Iron Lords are streaming too. Yeah, we're all on our own separate thing. Frothing Otter asks how my pets are. They haven't seen them lately. They've been really good. Rufus is now turning 3 this year, and he's kind of like maturing. He is a very excitable dog, but he's maturing where like he's cool just hanging out for the day if mom and dad are busy. And then Forrest was going through some health issues because he's a toy poodle, so he's really small, and like his teeth, the teeth for that breed, they go because it's like a small 5-6 pound dog. So the teeth go a little bit earlier. So he had teeth that were in the back of his mouth rotting a little bit, and we had to get a surgery done to remove it because it was causing an infection where he had like his nose was running a lot, he was sneezing a lot. I felt so bad for him, but we paid for the surgery and got it removed, and thank God he has been really healthy since. He is 13 now, or he's turning 13 this year. He is such a high energy dog, and like he's always running around. He's always excited to go out. He makes me so happy. I love him. He was my then girlfriend, now wife's dog when I met him when he was like 6 years old, which is crazy to think about. So yeah, appreciate you asking. My pups are doing A-okay, and happy, healthy, living a good life. We take them on big walks all the time. So appreciate you asking. Let me see if I missed any other super chats. JS Dylan Schneider. I think I got your name right. Why do you think they haven't released Fallout Shelter Online over here in the States? Feels like something that's easy money. I don't know. I've never found it appealing, so I never really cared. Localization costs. It also might just exist to extract value from like one particular audience, because I think what's only in China, right? Maybe they don't see opportunity here. I can't say I blame them, but who knows? Maybe they'll eventually bring it over to the States, or just update the current game is more likely what will happen. Lord Sunnyman, thank you for your $2 donation. I think I'm finally catching up with what I missed. Yes. Okay. Okay. Yep. All caught up now. Thank you guys for your patience. Appreciate it. Sorry that I missed some of you here. I love this one. I'd love to see Prototype 3 somehow as my cope. Yeah. Yeah, a little Prototype 3 would go pretty hard, man. I love Prototype, so I'm with you. Thank you for your super chat. Oh, this is nice. Maddie, you inspired me to finally make a gaming YouTube channel and stop doubting myself and record my first video. I'm now in the editing process. Any tips on how I start this exciting new journey? I'm going to give you the most simple tip of it all that you'll be like, obviously, but you'll have that moment where you think about it and you'll remember what I say. Consistency. Continue to be there. Obviously, there's the things that you'll continue to work on, like quality and being on top of things and trying to stay competitive and timing. There's all these other factors that go into it, but the first thing you need to do is to be consistent, because you got to love it. You got to love it. You got to be able to do it for free for a long while to do it for a living. I did it for free for like 10 years, man, because I just knew even if I got a great high-paying job, I love video games enough where I would still sit down in front of a microphone and talk about it because I love doing it. So you got to love it, man. Like I have no doubt if you're starting a channel, you do, but you got to love it enough to stick with it. So please do that. If you stay consistent, you'll be rewarded. Thank you, Re4head Gaming, for your donation. Nate Dorrington Official. Will they let us be Fable landlord and have deep character customization and families? I need the customization. You and I both. We don't know yet. Hopefully we're going to find out today. But yeah, I do want to be a landlord. I want to tax the fuck out of people. I want character customization as well. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Maddie, do you think, also thank you, Nate, for your support. Sergeant Breakaway 2 says, Maddie, do you think they do a Fallout 3 remaster such a remake, will it be like the Oblivion remaster, or be almost like porting Fallout 3 into Fallout 4 style? Good question. I think I'm going with the latter. Like, I think visually it'll be like what you're talking about with Oblivion, but I do think gameplay-wise it's going to age itself into Fallout 4. Kind of like how Oblivion remaster puts itself into Skyrim. I think that's what you get here. Great question, though. So that's my expectation, is they're going to overhaul the shooting, because Fallout 3, like, New Vegas is a lot more stat-driven shooting, I feel. You know, like, especially if, like, your strength is low and you're holding a heavy weapon, your weapon sways a lot more, that sort of stuff. I don't remember that being as prevalent in Fallout 3. So I feel like if you updated shooting to something more casual, it kind of just fits with what Bethesda does. Trout, thank you for your donation. Thank you for your donation. Would you play a Double Fine Shadow Drop game? If it looks good, you know. Double Fine's always a weird one. Like, I didn't play Keeper. Like, Keeper just didn't look interesting to me. So, and like, not even from I'm only into big hits kind of games, but like, just didn't look interesting. But they are, like, Psychonauts is amazing, so they've got my attention. Imagine if Playground takes a page from the Bethesda playbook and adds a settlement mode. Yeah, I could see it. I could see it. We already have a little bit of that, like, NPC interaction and taxation and whatnot. So buying property. So it would add up. I would like that. Great suggestion. Hopefully they're doing it. Here we go. Sublime the Bot. Maddie, I've been watching you since I was around 14. I wanted to say thank you for the videos. I work in animal control and they're great for my mental health. Oh, dude, my pleasure. And I can only imagine that's tough, dude, working with animals and whatnot. It's actually, I've always said what I wanted to do if YouTube never worked out is I wanted to work with animals. So I greatly admire what you do, but I'm happy to help out. Stay strong. I know it's not easy out there, but stay strong. And just wishing you the best, man. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you for thinking of me, and thank you for your donation. Mercenary 2 remaster. Any guesses on that being a possibility? Maybe back compat support. I don't think you're getting a remaster of anything from Pandemic's library anytime soon. But I would love to be dead wrong about that. Saboteur is like one of my favorite games. What else did they do? The OG Battlefront games. I guess they did manage to extract those, but there's obviously value in the Star Wars license compared to something like Mercenaries. But yeah, I wouldn't hold my breath, but I would love for that to be the case. Holy crap, guys. These super chats are crazy. Thank you. What's your stance on Fallout 4 choice and consequence? Are there critiques too harshly, as if you can't destroy entire factions and miss whole quest lines? I think it's really, I think people conflate the lack of choice and consequence with really the lack of character agency. Like Fallout 4 was really the start of you could only be nice when you think about it. Like, they started that trend of, like, it's hard to be an asshole. It's almost impossible to be an asshole. The most you can be in Fallout 4 is sarcastic. And I think because of that, there is that feeling that the game, and the reality that the game can give you more. It can give you more evil options. Like, if they pushed it to this length and I said this instead of snarky, like I said, I'm going to kill you instead of like, hey, dude, nice jacket. That would change the entire outcome of this quest line, right? I think that's the idea behind it, is that it can be pushed more. And I agree with that, especially when you play Far Harbor. You can see it can be pushed more. I do think Fallout 4 is a little overhated, but right now I'm in my fuck Fallout 4 bag straight up because of Anniversary Edition. What Bethesda did for that shit is heinous. So, Tamora writes, it's crazy New Vegas' budget was apparently only $8 to $9 million. Chris Avalone told me this compared to Starfield's $200 million, possibly more. That's an interesting fact, dude. That's crazy. I mean, 8 to 9 makes sense. It was like a repurposed game. You know, like they just did an asset flip, but 200 million, dude. It's so crazy how much they spend on these games nowadays versus what they really do for you as a player. Thank you for that, Timur. Poppy Sergeant Spanky. Favorite Fable 2 complete boxes on the way. The first one, Lost Chapter specifically. I love the first Fable game. If this Fable gameplay looks great, I'm going to be all fucking over a Fable replay. Did you see episode 6 of Fallout yet? No, I wanted to see it last night. My wife and I watched it together. She went to bed early. I was also going over some feedback for our game, so I was a little bit tied up later into the night. So we decided to kick the can down the road to today. But I'm hoping to see it today. 2026 vids are going hard. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Yeah, we have a slightly altered vision for the year. It's going to be what you know from me and love from me, but like I think there's going to be some sprinkles of new collabs and styles of videos that I just want to explore because I think it'd be worth it. Why not, right? Lyndon, good to see you. I miss Retro Rewind. Any classic movies you've watched since it ended that you really enjoyed? Hook comes to mind. I watched that with my wife about a month ago, I want to say, and I loved that movie. Very much like the perfect fairy tale, but just I loved its music. Stop me, Shmee, I'm about to commit suicide. Like, I just, so good, so funny. I love Hook. So that comes to mind right away. From KOTOR, Fable, Dishonored, and past Bethesda games, what is your favorite morality system? Oh, why are you making me choose my favorite kid? KOTOR. KOTOR easily, dude. Like, I just love light side, dark side. I got to figure out this timer for these super chats here. It's getting tough out here. Maddie, thank you for your videos. My mom recently passed away. Your videos are getting me through the day. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Jeez. Yeah, I'm happy to help, but I'm sorry. Hang in there. Not easy, and I'm not looking forward to the day I got to go through that. I think we all dread that a little bit. So just keep your head up, and obviously don't feel bad about submerging yourself in either content or games or movies, things that remind you of the positive times with them. Don't run away from those feelings. I think as someone who experienced a lot of grief in their 20s and lost a ton of people, it's easy to run away from those memories. And I think it's important to stay connected to them. So just keep that in mind. Okay, I got to figure out, I'm missing so many super chats because they keep just like filtering out of here. This is crazy. I'm sorry, I'm missing a bunch of these now. I'm going to try my best here. Maddie, you the GOAT. Love when you stream. I've marked another settlement on your map. Thank you. I'm right on it. Any chance for Bethesda to seriously upgrade creation for Elder Scrolls 6 now there's so much criticism they have Xbox's budget on their side? There was a rumor that they were like Unreal Engine-ifying the creation engine, whatever the fuck that means. God, I'm more terrified of that than just base creation engine, but I'm not a creation engine hater. I think it just comes down to creative decision making, which Bethesda's not made good decisions on. So I don't really care about their engine as much as others do, but I never have. Like, people want the mods and they're like, we want mods. It's like, well, you need a customizable engine like creation. You can't have them go to like Unreal Engine or Unity or whatever and make the same games, unfortunately. So, hey, Maddie, I know sometimes you interview devs. If you ever interview someone from Obsidian, can you please beg them to remaster, remake, or otherwise release a sequel for Alpha Protocol? I just pitched an Obsidian interview at the end of last year, and I got left on red. So that's just how it goes sometimes. I don't mean that like in a fuck them kind of way. It's like, it's just how it goes. So I'm trying. I'd like to talk to them about the future. Because my pitch to them was basically like, hey, you guys are constantly hounded about New Vegas. Like, let's get an interview with me and give us a definitive answer. Like, are you ever going to do it? Like, just put a fucking nail in the coffin, dude. Like, let's just stop leading people on. You announce all these games that people are always still asking about New Vegas to. Either do it or don't. All right. We have very similar taste in gaming. It's been great to watch you over the years. Thank you for your candor, passion, and hard work. God bless you. God bless you as well, Jeff. Thank you. Very kind of you to say. What are your thoughts on Trails Beyond the Horizon? I haven't played it yet. I just got... Hang on. Heyo. What's this? Hold on. Stream Deck, come over here. Oh. My Stream Deck just reset. There we go. Bang. Trails Beyond the Horizon. So, yeah, I'm going to play this... I'm thinking, I don't know. We'll see how the summer shapes up. I don't want to play a big JRPG right now, but I do want to play Trails Beyond the Horizon. Looks raw. Maddie, I'm predicting Xbox ends the June showcase with Gears E-Day Developer Direct and October 2026 release date. Thoughts? I think the release date depends a lot on what's it called? What's the game? GTA 6. And then beyond that, I think your E-Day prediction's correct. COG predicted the same thing. I think you're on the money. Especially because Fable's getting a look here. I think they're committing another game to the end of the Direct this summer. What are you expecting to see? Anything for PS5? Yeah, I think all these games are eventually coming to PS5, but I do think Fable will be day and date on PS5. I've always liked Fable's Monty Python-esque sense of humor. Honestly, I prefer it to Borderlands toilet humor. I like toilet humor, but I agree in the sense that I think like Fable is hilarious in its own way because you can choose when to indulge in the toilet humor. Like you can rip a little ass on someone and be like, all right, that was fun. Uh, did you watch Hook? Because you and Cog kept calling each other Shmee the other day and made me want to watch it. No, I watched Hook before that because my wife loves the movie and she has like a whole list of movies she wants me to see and this is one of them. And so I wanted something that was kind of like lighthearted and fun when we were sitting down to watch one, and she was like, okay, I got the perfect one. Like she kind of has all these movies ready to go for me. I didn't want anything dark or overly serious, and I'm glad I picked that one. Hook was an awesome film. But yeah, I watched it recently enough where it was not because of my lovely co-host Lord Cognito. I'm playing KOTOR for the first time, even keeping a game journal on it, writing my experience and thoughts. Don't know much about KOTOR. Any tips? If you're worried about the combat being annoying, play as a soldier and like just throw all of your upgrades into like Master Flurry. Get that by level 8. You'll be good to go. And you'll never have to worry about combat. If you're going soldier, though, you can eventually switch over to like your Jedi robes. You don't have to wear armor the whole time. Otherwise, all your force powers will be restricted. Otherwise, though, don't forget to get HK. My boy's on Tatooine waiting for you. And know that there's a party member you can actually kill. And I think she's pretty great. All right. What's your favorite first-person shooter of all time? Mine's Halo 2, to be honest. Think we'll ever get back to a place where social features are a staple? Good question. I don't know about social features because it feels like every game's going for it in the wrong ways. But favorite FPS, I mean, does Fallout really count? I know they're more like RPGs, shooters. But if we're talking like traditional first-person shooter, like you're talking the realm of Halo, it's funny because then BioShock comes to mind as well. Fallout's my immediate answer. Traditional first-person shooter, Halo 3? Yeah. Yeah, Halo 3 is pretty incredible. At least that's what comes to mind to me, for me. Good question, though. I never got into Fable. The art style turned me away, to be honest. How would you pitch Fable to an Elder Scrolls fan? I don't know. The art style shouldn't turn you off. It plays a big part in the whole personality of the game, like the music, the kind of whimsical nature of it all, the writing. It's supposed to be exaggerated in a fun way, I feel. So I really think give it a chance, even if you're not into the art style. I think you'll learn to love it. But if you're an Elder Scrolls fan, I would say you like fantasy worlds, so you get one here that's not as explorable, but it's dense. You get one that's far more reactive than any Elder Scrolls world. If you like Elder Scrolls because of the cool loot, you get really cool loot in this game, and you see your characters' like morality visually represented on their body, which I think is awesome. What else does Fable do that Elder Scrolls fans? I think it's just a new breed of fantasy game. Like, it's not going to remind you of Elder Scrolls, and I think if you're looking for fantasy that feels different, that you also can't really get anywhere else. Fable, like the reason we love Fable, again, I've said it so many times, but like you just can't get that style of game anywhere else. There's no like, oh, I like Fable, what can I play that's like that? There's, we were talking about in the chat yesterday, like Overlord's kind of there, but otherwise you don't really have many great options at your fingertips. Like Kingdoms of Amalur, because it's got a kind of softer art style similar to Fable, and the music kind of is very whimsical and fantasy and fairy tale like. I mean, but otherwise it's like an action RPG that's awesome, but it's not like Fable. So yeah, man, I think seriously just give it a shot. Have you ever played black and white games from Lionhead? Since we're getting new Fable, I'm hoping someone picks it up someday. No, I've actually never heard of those games, to be honest with you. I appreciate the super chat. I wish I could give you a deeper answer than that, but I've never played them or heard of them. But I thank you for putting them on my radar. For me, my introduction to Lionhead was with Fable 1 as a kid. So I don't know anything about, now you mentioned, I don't know anything about their past. So I'll have to look into that. I'm pretty disappointed in the new sequel trilogy, truth be told, but ironically, I love Star Wars Jedi games. Is that hypocritical? No. If you actually watch my review of Star Wars Jedi Survivor, I said that I was jaded by Star Wars at that point. And we were just talking in yesterday's chat how there's a lot of Star Wars content that I've missed out on because I'm kind of disenfranchised with it, unfortunately. And I want to get back into it because I know there's some good stuff in there. But Star Wars Jedi reminds you that it's not the problem with the brand. Like, Star Wars still kicks ass. It needs stuff like what Jedi does. Jedi Survivor is excellent. I'm right there with you. That's like my favorite Star Wars in recent memory. I don't think it's hypocritical at all. It's just truly what great Star Wars is right now. And it's funny because we're kind of in that era where like the games are the best part of the Star Wars license in some way. So I remember in the early 2000s, that's all that Star Wars was to me. It was a gaming franchise. It was Lego Star Wars. It was Republic Commando. It was KOTOR. It was Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy. What a fucking time, dude. What a time to be alive. Played Blueprints with my wife recently. Highly recommend as a fun date night game with yours. Grab a notepad and thank me later. Okay. Yeah, my wife and I love the game Superliminal. And we played that together, and she loves indie games, so we'll put that down on the docket. And we'll play a little Blueprints. That's one that I skipped out on, so see what's going on there. Finally watched your vids for a while and went back or been watching your vids for a while and finally went back to KOTOR after I saw your FOTOR reaction. Last time I played it was 10 plus years ago when I got it from the library. Cool. Thanks for your content, man. My pleasure. I hope you're enjoying it. Yeah, I love Knights of the Old Republic more than anything, man. So, such a beautiful, beautiful game. Have fun. Just enjoy the journey. Do you think the Fallout remakes will drop at the same time? It would be nice to get a bundle, but I could see them doing separate releases for money. Yes. You're right on the money there. They're going to do them separately. I think it would be cool for them to treat fans like that, but I think because they're going to be more comprehensive remake-style games, I think they're going to split them up and make them like big beats, especially if Oblivion was one of the top-selling games of last year. They're like, yeah, let's split these up and stretch out the fun. Deactivated LeBron. I don't know. Thank you for your donation. I don't know. Black and White was Peter Molyneux's first God game that he overhyped, if I remember correctly. Okay. Well, there you go. That's something. I mean, poor Peter, man. BioShock 2 multiplayer was so good. Yeah. Yeah, I was talking about that the other day in a video, how I missed the kind of pack-in multiplayer days. I know it was kind of frustrating because we wanted just single-player games. But pack-in multiplayer was underrated, man. Dead Space 2, BioShock 2, it was a good time. When's the AI bubble going to pop? I mean, what do I know in some instance? But, like, from what I read online, man, it just feels like all these companies are trying to force a point that's just like not proving itself, and the only way that they're getting money, they have to like prove themselves to investors who have given them money to pursue AI because they're so convinced it's going to make them money, so they're shoving into everything. I mean, you see what's going on with OpenAI lately. They're like, our last resort would be like taking a subscription service or whatever they're doing right now to get money in, and now they're doing it. And I mean, no one's using Copilot because Copilot's fucking awful. It's completely destroyed Windows because they're shoving Copilot there. They have Copilot in Paint, for the love of God. So yeah, I don't know. I just don't see people using it. I think it's gonna not make them money, and they're gonna eventually have to cut these costs and expenses. And I don't think it goes away permanently, but I do think the whole investment bubble pops because I just don't see anyone like balling out. I could be dead wrong, but I just, again, part of it's also hope. I'm tired of it, dude. I'm so tired of it. Hey, Maddie, what's your hype level for Crimson Desert? I'm excited to pick it up, but not particularly thrilled. It's clearly a 200-hour game. If it's 200 valuable hours, I'm hyped. Right now I'm just interested in its scope and scale. But I want to play it because it fascinates me. I'm just like, ever since I saw that game, I'm like, this looks like it does everything. So I hope it's great. But my hype levels are up there. Like I'm interested. I should say my interest levels are high. My hype levels are like medium because I think it could deliver for something to be something special. Speaking of Double Fine's games earlier, one of their hidden gems for me that I always loved was Iron Brigade. I'd love for them to do something with that, like a remaster or a sequel. Yeah, Double Fine's another unexplored dev for me. I really like Double Fine a lot. Let me shrink the alert box a little bit here. I realize I'm like cramming the screen with a bunch of pop-ups here. But yeah, Double Fine's one I'm behind on. inXile, I love inXile, but I'm behind on them a little bit as well. There's a few devs that I really love that or have just discovered recently that I need to catch up on. Jasper, thank you for your super chat. You rock as well. Xbox live stream just showed art of a male with a spear fighting against a giant chicken. There we go. Okay, perfect. Hopefully that means that y'all can stop freaking out about there not being a male character in Fable. I had zero doubts about it, but hopefully he looks cool. What do we got here? Kieran Rice. First time catching you live, and I've been watching the content since the Fallout 4 days. Keep up the great work you do, bud. Love from Scotland. Fingers crossed for anything Fallout related. I would uncross them for Fallout, but hey, appreciate you watching since the Fallout 4 days. That's a deep cut. Happy to have you here for that long. Thanks for tolerating me. Certainly not all my takes have been perfect in that stretch of time. Thoughts on the new Styx game? I've not played those, actually. I had interest in one of them because I remember Carrick was selling me on it. And it looked interesting because I love the stealth games that we very rarely get nowadays. But the Styx game series, I know this new one looked pretty good from the trailer I saw, but I was like, oh, well, I want to play all the other ones first, right? So it looks cool from everything I've seen, but I've also not done like a deep dive on it. So thank you for your donation. I appreciate it. Shout out to Styx. AI has a lot of potential. It's being mishandled pretty significantly, and the greed and aggression are a lot of the reason why they're trying to run before they can walk. Yeah, like that's a big part of it, man. Like we got to kind of gradually introduce these things, right? Right? At least that's what I think. I'm with you on that. Like there's I'm sure there are there are use cases where like if you're organizing data, like I had this whole feedback sheet. Can I just simplify this so when I speak to the rest of the team, like we have the bullet points and I don't have to sit here for like 4 hours and do all of the reorganizing. Like that stuff AI is great for. Assessing existing data and reorganizing it for you. That's the best use case I've got right now though. Now we're seeing it like drain the planet and dry up water wells, and we're seeing fucking companies skyrocket prices everywhere and they're buying out RAM, and I'm like, for what? We need to see more positive use cases that just to justify it a little bit. Oh, Dro wants to play a little Kakarot after the video I made on it on Retro Rebound. That's awesome. Yeah, that's the DLC for that game is amazing. Every time I think I'm going to get a break on these super chats, you guys keep just like hooking the homie up. I appreciate it. You think we'll ever see inXile tackle Fallout 1 and 2 remake? Or do you believe they'll just go the modern Fallout route? I don't think we will, because they seem to be very happy, according to what I've seen from Brian Fargo, just like working on one game and one game only in Clockwork Revolution. I think they're just going to do that again and again and again. So, yeah, I don't think they'll do it personally. I think they'll eventually remake Fallout 1 and 2, but I don't think it'll be inXile. As much as I think that would be awesome to just see Fargo on Fallout again. I think they'll go back to Wasteland, if anything. Like, they'll turn Wasteland into the next Fallout with the first-person shooting systems that they put into Clockwork. That's my prediction. Here's my list of the next 10 years of Fallout Hopium. Fallout 5, New Vegas Remaster 3 Remaster, Fallout New Vegas 2, and Fallout Isometric by Larian Studios, plus a Fallout Vault reality show. Bravo. Someone out there's got some hope. We'd love to see it, man. I love at least the optimism. You know, I love that we as fans know a better roadmap than it seems like Bethesda does at times. And I guess this is what gets shadow dropped after the showcase here. I think it's the indie game that Double Fine's working on. We'll see shortly. But that'd be my prediction. Imagine it's Fable. Yeah, right. Hey, I know you mentioned that you're planning on playing games you want to play this year, but guys, MGS4 this year. Yes, I just finished MGS3 actually a couple days ago. And so I'm writing up a script for that. Wasn't a huge fan of the story. Gameplay's all right, but like, yeah, it's definitely out of the 3 MGS games I've played so far, it's my least favorite. So MGS4 is on the docket. I think I'm going to take another Metal Gear break and focus on Resident Evil. I've been playing Resident Evil 2 Remake, kind of just looking at the Leon games because my most anticipated game right now is Requiem, and I just want to be like fully caught up on Leon stuff for that and see if I can squeeze in the Outbreak games as well. But MGS4 will be done this year for sure. Midsky, thank you for your super chat. Hey, Maddie, love you, bro, from the UK. Very excited for anything Bethesda. Also, I stole your outro for my video. Sorry, they're not gaming bits. It's fine. It's not like I have a copyright or anything. Thank you for your support, though. Hey, Maddie, been watching since Skyrim and Fallout 4. Skyrim, Maddie, is a deep cut, dude. That's like 2012. It's high school, Maddie. Thank you, though. Appreciate that. Corey, good to see you again, my friend. Do you think they'll ever try a Morrowind remaster? Oblivion dominated my life at launch. Same with Skyrim. I hear so much about it, but the age is tough to overcome mechanically. Also, play Custom Robo on GameCube. Okay. I've never heard of that game, but the Morrowind remaster, yeah, I think they'll eventually do it. I think it'll end up necessitating a complete remake, though, for modern audiences, and I think that'll piss a lot of people off. I don't know. It's a rock and a hard place for Bethesda. It eventually becomes the odd one out. I would say, here's my hot take. I think they remaster Skyrim before Morrowind. Yeah. I think they remaster Skyrim before Morrowind. I think people are going to be very upset when that happens, but I think it's going to happen. Do you think we'll see State of Decay 3 at the summer showcase? Not today, though. Thank you for your support. Jimbo Jangles. Maddie, big fan. What's the first game you bought with your own money? Mine was Mega Man 2. Also, who you got winning the Super Bowl? We got ticks to see my Broncos on Sunday. I'm going to need a miracle. Love your energy, bro. Thank you. Have fun, first of all. That's awesome. Playoff atmosphere. Nothing like it. Seahawks looked really good. I feel like they're rolling in the right direction. I would have said the Broncos because I think they just play a really tight game, but you lose Bo Nix. We'll see how Stiddy handles it, bro. Best of luck to you. I'm glad you have high energy even after losing your starting QB. First game I bought with my own money though. First game I bought with my own money. That's a good question. I distinctly no, it had to be before that. It had to be before that. Sorenzu shouting at the Fallout Dust playthrough being peak. Yeah, that was a peak rage. That was fun. That was a fun time. Nothing quite like that. Okay, I'm gonna go. I remember buying my 360, but I definitely bought games before that. Yeah, because I bought PS2 games. First game I bought my own money. I'm looking at like my collection. Had to be a Game Boy Advance game. That was like my baby. I bought TMNT on my PSP. I bought so many games. Oh my god. What was the first game Matt went to the store and bought with his own money? Ultimate Ninja 3 stands out in my brain. I remember going to GameStop specifically for Ultimate Ninja 3 on PS2 and buying it for $40. That definitely wasn't the first one because Battle Network, that comes to mind too. I was like 9 or 10. Battle Network comes to mind. It's a good question though. Maddie, how do you feel about the Peralta trade? Great, honestly. A lot of Mets fans are like, whoa, we gave up a lot, but I'm like, we gave up the right pieces where I don't think we lost much of our future, and I don't think we lost much of like what. Also, we got Tobias Myers too, which I thought was like a sneaky, like, how did we get him in this deal? But I felt like we gave up the right pieces. Like we gave up people who had no, outside of Sproat, we gave up people who had no opportunity to really play for the Mets. Like Jet Williams has no spot in the Mets. Oh, we actually had a super chat about this. Yeah, the Mets have went from historically bad offseason to like extremely fun, exciting team. I think they still need another pitcher. I just hope they don't sign Framber Valdez, bro. That guy's a piece of shit. I don't care what anyone says, bro. When you bean your own fucking catcher because you gave up a nuke, you're a fucking asshole, dude. Fuck that guy. Love the work you do. But why do people think it will be Bethesda or Obsidian making Fallout or a Fallout remaster? Think outside the box. I'm expecting a dark horse developer. Yeah, I agree. I think it'll be a third-party thing. They don't want to spend their time on it. But another company will happily be paid to do it. Trevor, good to see you, my friend. Bit late to the party, but listening while eating lunch at work. Stay warm out there, Matty. Yeah, it's about to be hella cold. Oh, my gosh. Good to see you, though, Trevor. Thanks for showing up. Caught your stream late and heard you were a Falcons fan. My brother, Marty Booker, played for the Falcons in his final season in 2010. He was a wide receiver. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm a late bloomer Falcons fan. I became a fan in 2015. So before that, I mean, outside of Mike Vick, obviously, I don't really know too many Falcons. But that's awesome, dude. Thank you for your super chat as well. I'm ready for Bethesda to remake Daggerfall as a roguelike game. It's got the bones of one already. I would love for them to do that, but like I at the same time look at what Bethesda said to me when I talked to Todd Howard. I'm like, would you guys do smaller games? He's like, yeah, if we did that, we'd do it for 76 and its updates. I'm like, no, don't do that. Make smaller games. Good to see you, Maddie. Do you follow basketball at all? Let's get your thoughts on what moves your team should make for the deadline. I hate to waste your super chat, bro, but I like hate basketball kind of. I'm not like a basketball fan at all. I'm a big baseball fan. That's my favorite sport. Hockey's right there next to it. But hockey's kind of just like rinse and repeat seasons. Like it's always just feels the same. But baseball, I think, has been just so much fun to watch these last few years. Basketball, though, I think the sport got ruined by like foul merchants, to be honest with you. So I don't even have a favorite team. It used to be the Celtics. I like the Celtics. But they were so good at one point. Like I like the Celtics when it was like Rondo, Garnett, Pierce. Like Paul Pierce is like my favorite NBA player for sure. So yeah, I just like I like casually am a fan of the Celtics because I have been my whole life, but not to any sort of like claim to fame, like where I'm like sporting their jerseys on shows. Like I have a zip up Celtics thing. That's about it though. Skyrim Anniversary Edition remake of the remaster of the Game of the Year edition out now. Exactly. It's gonna happen. Get ready. AI chat summary about people talking about AI. That's how some people do it, right? Like you'll see it on like @Grok. What does this mean? What do we got here? Oh, thank you for your donation. Appreciate it, guys. Favorite complete in box experience for a Bethesda game. I'm going to go with Oblivion. The map, it's got a jam-packed manual, double disc. Oblivion Game of the Year edition. Yeah, that's the one. Maddie, it's my birthday today, and I get an actual reveal from the new Fable. The Lost Chapter is one of my favorite games of all time. Well, happy birthday. Thank you. Hope you're having a great day. Hope Xbox is going to make your day even better. But yeah, thanks for spending some time on your birthday here with the awesome chat. Appreciate you, dude. Crazy prediction, Warhorse makes Elder Scrolls 7. That is fucking hella crazy, dude. Maybe if Bethesda goes under. But I like the creativity. Hi, Maddie. What would your thoughts be on a sequel to Midnight Suns? I think it could be great. First game slept on. Yeah, I agree. I think you just expand the roster. I think you change the gameplay from not a card system. I think a lot of people thought it was like a freemium game because of that. So I think you get the cards out of there. I think you also add more elements from XCOM, like a timer and sort of like urgency to the plot. I think that stuff would also help a lot. But yeah, it's a good game. I enjoyed it. Mega Man, Jack 123, a Sly Cooper game. Still waiting for 4. Yeah, I would take Sly 4 or Sly 5, I should say, any day. Hey, Maddie, big fan. Have you ever played the free FPS The Finals from Embark Studios? It's their first game from Arc Raiders, before Arc Raiders. If you haven't, I highly recommend trying out. Yeah, I love that game. Awesome environmental destruction. Incoming 3 New Vegas announcement for mobile. Yeah, nothing would make me more annoyed than that. You got to play Custom Robo, Saturday morning cartoon vibes with digital mechs. What else is there to say? I'll look into it. Yeah, I think, I want to remember Scott the Waz talking about it in one of his videos. I'll have to look into it. My GameCube library is very thin compared to the rest of my collection. Actually, Deactivated LeBron, if you want to know about this, I talk about this with Mark Dara. They were trying to do a remaster of Dragon Age Origins, but they couldn't get the funding for it or something along those. I don't think it was exactly they couldn't get the funding, but it was kind of like they had to fund it themselves, so they chose to make Veilguard instead. So EA doesn't have any motivation to do it. I think if you're going to do Dragon Age again, you just got to reboot the whole series. Jet Williams posted "Thank God" on his IG. It's so funny. He's like, "Thank God about it, this fucking organization." I think he just wants playing time, though. To be fair, I think he just wants some playing time. Hey, Matt, I've been very curious about your game development journey. I may have missed updates. Do you ever speak about it publicly? No worries if not. Thank you for your super chat. I speak about it very broadly. I don't want to get into anything from like genre to like mechanic specifics and even some experiences. I try to use it to inform some of my conversations where I can, but I try not to get into the weeds too much because I think for it to have any legitimacy or true value to you all, I've got to have something to show that you can look at and be like, okay, he went through that, and like his team went through that. So it's been tough. I mean, I expected it to be tough, but it's been a lot more difficult than I think when we first dove into it, I ever could have imagined. Just the amount of like, it's the archetypical creative cycle. You start by making something, and then it's the failure part it's that piece in the middle, because then you iterate afterwards and you kind of repeat that cycle. But failing is the part that you learn the most from, but you try to avoid it, and you'll make stupid choices to try to avoid failure when you should run headfirst into failure. That was like the biggest thing I think I've learned in this last year. But yeah, I don't speak much about like mechanics or specific things because I don't want to give away what our game is. I want you all to see it for yourselves. That's more important to me. But I'm excited to show you all it when the time is right. New Fable Pub mini games. That would be great. Yeah, I hope they lean into the mini games. We got 5 minutes till the stream's about to start, guys. So if you end up super chatting soon and I don't answer you right away, I apologize. We'll get to it after the stream when we watch it together. And we'll do a volume test beforehand as well. I hope there is a character creator in Fable. Otherwise, I think it would be an underutilization of the Forza Tech engine. I agree. I think they'll have it, though. They should. Hey, bro, I've been watching your channel for a while, and I really like your style of content. I'm a Fable fan. All I want to see is transformation of your character due to your moral choices. I really hope they nail that. You and I both. That's where I'm at. A lot of people are talking character customization. I'm like, I just want to see my character evolve over the course of a game based on my choices. As a YouTuber, since being someone I've watched in Skyrim days and an inspiration, what advice do you have? Since you're saying it's not gaming related, I don't know if you're talking about life itself. I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to imagine you want life advice. time is the most valuable resource. And it's something that you realize later in life. Like, I always treated my time with a ton of value my whole 20s. When I turned 30, I realized even the things that I thought were like, oh, whatever, like I'm reviewing this shitty game. You start to realize that's taking time away from your family, who you have very limited time with. That's taking time away from your personal enjoyment, other hobbies. Like, enriching your life is so important. I think it's easy to lose focus of that, especially when you get in the weeds of your work. And I think for me, quality time spent has and enriching it in different ways. Like, I was just a straight up gamer for a while, but now like bringing more books into my life, more movies, more music, and spending my time differently, and not just having this rigid cycle of like eat, sleep, game, like opening my mind to these other things and not spending my time constantly working. Like, I think for me, that's the biggest thing I've learned is just breaking up my schedule, leaving some work for the next day, even if it makes my next day a little busier. Like, quality time with people in my life, friends, family, that sort of thing is way more important. Not that I didn't ever feel that way, but it's not like something happened that sparked it on. I was just like, dude, you only have so much time. So you can't rewind the clock. You gotta spend it wisely. So hopefully that helps. Just think of how you spend your time. And yeah, Chase said it perfectly in the chat. It's so weird how it just clicks at like 30. Yeah, I turned 30. And it's not like something happened. I just reflected and I'm like, I think I've done pretty good for myself. I'm very happy with where I'm at. But I need to just continue to be wise with how I spend the time. You know, like, I think playing video games is something we should all do. I just think enriching your life with things surrounding it makes the video games better. And as someone who's working with a great creative team, like, I want to enrich my life because I want to bring the best ideas to the table. And sometimes that's not just from like working constantly. It's from living life, going on a vacation, seeing the world. Like, those things feed into the stuff that I am extremely passionate about. So I've learned to just value that a lot more. Thank you, Midsky, for your donation. Thank you, El Pipa, for your donation here. Let's get this stream up here. I'm going to switch over to the browser, and I'm going to get the audio running here. We're going to do an audio test, and I did test it beforehand, but if it's too loud, let me know, but it should be good. Why is this so fucking loud on my end, dude? Holy shit. Jesus. These have like separate, what's it called? These have separate audio lines, so I can like change this, but they were like loud. Yeah, the volume should be good. I tested it like 3 times. So, all right, cool. Looks like chat's saying it's good. Let's catch up on some of these. I missed some of these super chats. Piss break when Forza starts. Yeah, honestly. Not really, but like, I'll watch it, but it's not like I'm sitting here like, oh, I can't wait to race. That's funny as hell. All right. I think I missed a couple of super chats. And again, I got to ask Dustin about this, what's it called? About this social stream ninja thing, because I think there's a timer I can change. So I missed a couple of these. Epic Storm wrote, hey, Maddie, how do you feel about the latest episode of the Fallout TV show about insinuating the Enclave started the Great War rubs me the wrong way? I don't know, man. I think where they're going with the Enclave, I think it'll all resolve itself where it'll be like how Tim Kaine said, like it's China. But I do think the Enclave being the big bad is a very compelling element of season 2. I think we all know where they're going next. Have you played the new Helldivers update? I have not, Brian. I have not played it yet. I don't know if I ever will, but I'm glad people are having fun with it. Will you interview Tim Kaine at some point? Yeah, of course. I'd love to. I get the free pass on pirating your game. Yeah, I mean, you've paid for it at this point, man. Have at it. If you fucking super chatted enough, have at it. Real quick, where the F is State of Decay 3? Hopefully showing up this year. I don't know. They got to come to the front of the congregation. Oh, here we go. I'm writing a fantasy novel. Any advice? Surround yourself with not fantasy stuff. I'll say that. I think doing that would actually be really great. Like, read sci-fi shit so that your brain is exploring a whole different part of... Hold on, what's this chat bar over here? How do I get rid of that? What? What's going on here? Am I washed, guys? Sorry, I might have to refresh the page, I think. Hello? What's going on here? Usually there's a tab over here to hide the chat. Is it this? No. What is going on? Let the chat box load, then remove it. Okay. But it's not loading. Weird. Huh. Here, I'll keep this up right now. And I'm going to open up a separate tab over here. Full screen this for you guys so you can watch it. And in the meantime, I will find one without the chat box. It's your ad blocker. Okay, hang on. Yeah, Opera GX strikes again. One moment, guys. I know how to fix this.
I'm not sure what to do with my hands.
Give me one sec. Oh, here we go. There we go. Hold on. There we go. Yep, it just had to load. There we go. Weird. Opera GX probs. All right, let's see what we've got.
First look at Forza Horizon 6.
Okay, they're open with Horizon.
Design director for Forza Horizon.
I'll turn this up a little bit for you guys.
To show you what the teams at Playground Games and Turn 10 have been working on.
And I'm Don Arceta, art director for Forza Horizon. The Horizon Festival is a celebration of beautiful cars, hit music, and breathtaking locations around the world. And now we're taking you to the place we've wanted to visit for a very long time, Japan.
We designed a campaign that really focuses on your
720,
journey.
Get the fuck
Find a
out of here.
campaign that really focuses on your journey. You don't start as a superstar of the festival or a racing champion or even a rookie. You'll start out as just a tourist in Japan. Your first goal is to join the Horizon Festival by completing the Horizon qualifiers. After that, you'll rise through the ranks, unlocking wristbands as you complete races in faster, more exciting cars. At the end of each round, you must prove you're ready to move up by completing spectacular events to unlock your next wristband. These include classic Horizon showcases and our new Horizon
Thank you,
Rush
Josh. Yeah, I was just
events,
making sure it was
where you
good.
show
All
off
right.
your skills on
Thank you.
thrilling obstacle courses.
So I was checking
like
chat
this
just to
one
see if I
at
can get
docks
the
in Tokyo City.
volume just right.
When you finally earn your gold wristband, you get access to Legend Island, an exclusive region of the world with unique events, tracks, and areas to explore. And that will be a true accomplishment. Throughout that journey, all of Japan outside the Horizon Festival is yours to explore at your own pace. So, let's talk about the location we've all been waiting for.
Japan is the ideal location for our biggest, most exciting game yet. Full of beautiful landscapes and stunning contrasts of rural and urban, modern and traditional. This is our largest map, full of verticality, diverse biomes, seasonality, and breathtaking driving experiences, elevated by Japan's unique car culture. So we knew from the start that we wanted to deliver the most compelling and authentic game possible. To help us create those experiences in-game, we sought out advice and insight from people who've lived with Japanese car culture their entire lives.
As someone who grew up in Los Angeles
Yeah,
and
Colorado, I
Tokyo,
think they're gonna say favorite
both
for that.
cities known for car culture, I developed a passion for cars early. I've also worked extensively supporting creative collaborations between Japanese and Western video game studios. Over the course of production, I had many conversations with the team about the nuances and the details of Japanese culture and how to reflect these.
The volume's almost maxed on my end now, guys, just as a heads up.
As an example,
I was trying to
when
adjust
we
it here
discussed
to open the
naming
stream.
options for the player home at Tokyo Docks, we discussed the building number, picking 7 and 8 because those two numbers are considered fortunate in Japan. In fact, these numbers are also part of a well-known Japanese proverb, Nana Korobi Yaoki, which means never give up.
When our team builds a Forza Horizon game, we focus on the essence of the place, what makes it special and unique. At the start of production, our team traveled to Japan to capture reference for everything. Time lapses of real Japanese skies, photogrammetry of trees and geology, scans of roads and buildings, and things as simple as water kick-up and the way fallen cherry blossoms respond to passing cars.
That's cool.
From these references, we then work to capture the soul of those places, adapting it for Horizon's open-world gameplay. And since Japan is home to driving experiences unlike anywhere else, that process begins with the roads. Inspired by the C1 Loop, Ginkgo Avenue, and mountain passes, like Mount Haruna and Bandai Atsuma. Then we layer in the details around them, creating a world where every road leads to discovery. For this game, we've built our biggest urban area yet. Our Tokyo city is 5 times larger than anything we've designed before, with multiple districts, each with a unique
The world looks
identity.
beautiful, you know?
We work to create a city where
Whoa,
every road,
cool.
every corner, and every shortcut is fun to drive and
They
a
gotta
delight
show
to
like
explore.
nighttime Tokyo drift stuff. That's like point one. in
Seasonal
my brain.
change in Japan is dramatic, and these changes are widely celebrated in local culture. We've captured that in games so that you'll see those changes reflected in the world around you as you
Oh
explore.
wow, they have the I forgot what that's called.
That sense of exploration is at the heart of the game. Everything you find on your road trip in Japan is something for you to collect. Cars, houses.
We've improved how each car is affected by the world. For example, with new cosmetic tire wear, so each car responds authentically as you rack up the miles on those iconic Japanese roads. With more cars on day one than ever before, we've also created new ways to expand your car collection as you explore. Parked on driveways around the world, you'll encounter our new aftermarket cars. They're always bargains and include some extremely rare and unique cars to show off in your garage. We're not just bringing classic JDM to life, but also showcasing some of the newest, most exciting cars in the world. And Forza Horizon 6 cover car is one of them. The GR GT is a
Love the
race-derived
real-time
road car that
reflections.
combines motorsport
nice.
performance with road-going excellence. And our game is the ideal place to experience the most modern iteration of Kazoo Racing's relentless pursuit of Japanese engineering perfection.
Our cars sound better than ever, with greater detail and remastered audio, all brought to life by new acoustic modeling technology, simulating the soundscape of the world.
I'm gonna cook up the Forza Bros so hard on Defining Duke this week. This is such car nerd shit. Like, listen to how the
Music is a
engine
huge part of the
roars.
Horizon Festival, and we're curating a diverse track list from around the world, including exciting Japanese artists, so you can choose your perfect soundtrack, whether racing, cruising, or drifting. And to complement the visual contrast of our map, we've captured extensive field recordings across all 4 seasons in Japan, creating a rich and truly authentic
cool.
world for you to experience.
In Forza Horizon 6, you'll have new ways to shape that world with features that let you make a life for yourself in Japan. Our new customizable garages are the perfect place to do that. You'll find one of these
this
at
track's
every
kinda nice.
player house, big enough for multiple cars, where you can freely decorate the
Yeah.
entire space.
I can drive
and
to
when
this.
you're done, you can invite your friends over to see what you've built. But the ultimate place to express your creativity is the estate. This mountain valley starts off completely empty and overgrown, but once you unlock it, you can build and decorate directly in the open world here, and anything you construct is permanent and visitable by your friends. Our teams are fully committed to Forza Horizon being the open world driving game for everyone. We'll be carrying forward all of our accessibility features from previous games. We'll also be adding in new options like proximity radar for competitive players and auto drive for players who want to lean back and appreciate the world in motion.
Stop it.
Our major new
Stop it.
accessibility feature is customizable high contrast mode, making the open world of Japan visually accessible to everyone. No matter how you and your friends play, you can customize Forza Horizon 6 so you can play together.
Japan is world-renowned for its car meets, like Daikoku, and inspired by these experiences, Forza Horizon 6 will include new, open-world car meets. These are places where you can show off your cars and characters, download tunes and liveries, and even buy a copy of the cars you see. Then head out together to explore, where you'll find classic events like street races and our new Toge battles, iconic nighttime races down Japanese mountain passes.
Okay, like show the fucking
There's
modes,
more to do
guys.
in the open world than
I'm not trying to be an
New
asshole, but show the
shared
fucking
experiences
modes. Like,
Horizon
what am I gonna
Time
be
Attack
doing?
circuits.
What are the new gimmicks
These
in
are
the
seamlessly
Japan
part of the
open world, like
world.
night racing?
No loads,
Be
no
sick,
matchmaking,
you know?
just a
Like,
truly
let's
social
learn about that
experience
stuff.
with you, your friends, and the in-world leaderboard. Playing together is easier and more rewarding than ever. Forza fans are incredibly creative, making everything from liveries to race events and scenic locations to explore. To support your creativity, we've added the ability to start building from anywhere, as well as loads of other player-requested improvements, all of which are also available in the estate and the customizable garage. We also know you love to collaborate, so in Forza Horizon 6, we're making building fully multiplayer. In
Cool.
Horizon Collab, you and your friends can build anything you can imagine together.
Cool.
From everyone here at Playground Games and Turn 10 Studios, we hope you've enjoyed this first look at some of the new features we've been working on, and that you're as excited as we are for the game. We'll be launching on Xbox and PC on the 19th of May. If you're a Forza fan on PlayStation,
PlayStation.
we'll be welcoming you to Japan later this year when our PlayStation version is ready.
Oh, they're
now,
splitting
though,
it up.
Stay tuned for more updates about the game over the coming months. And thanks for joining us. We can't wait to see you in Forza
That went about as I
Horizon
expected.
6 as we discover
I have
Japan
zero
together.
fucking interest in this game. I hate to be that guy. It doesn't look bad. Like, it's not like a bad video game. I just have no interest in racing games, and I think they did nothing to get a person like me over that line and being like, oh, I'll try this one. The setting looks cool, but, you know, like, I thought you'd race against that train or something like that. Like, I just feel they didn't show enough to, like, make it feel distinct other than, like, look, you're racing in Japan. This is my 2 cents. What is this shit, man? Yeah, Gundams? May 19th, though, just as it was leaked. All right, one step closer to Fable, baby. They didn't do any of, like, the hidden extra games yet. All right, Game Freak time. The esteemed Pokemon developers. Let's see what they're cooking here. They have the best chance to surprise me. I came into this just ready to be, like, completely underwhelmed.
皆さんこんにちは。ゲームフリークのゼネラルプロデューサー大森茂です。ここは東京にあるゲームフリークのオフィスです。ビースト・オブ・リンカネーションはかつてない新しい体験を作り出すことに主眼を置いたゲームフリーク独自の取り組み、ギアプロジェクトから生まれた新しい挑戦です。これまでもポケットモンスターシリーズのほか、ソリティバ、ギガレッカーなどさまざまなオリジナルゲームタイトルを世に送り出し、 常に新しいアイデアや世界観の構築に挑戦しています。
Oh no, the frame rate already.
ビースト・オブ・リンカネーションはまさ
Oh
に
my god,
新しい
bro.
体験が
They
できる
can't beat the allegations that they just.
遠い未来
There we go.
運命
That's
崩壊
60
後の
frames.
汚れに侵食された日本、そして一人と一匹のアクション RPG というゲームプレイで構築されています。この美しくも過酷なビースト・オブ・リンカネーションの世界で皆さんにも臨場感あふれる冒険を味わっていただくことができればと心から願っています。
Looks cool.
これまではポケットモンスターシリーズでバトルプランナーやサウンドマネージャーを務めてきました。ただ新しいゲームに挑戦したいという強い衝動もずっとあったんです。
Oh, the dog is hurt.
最初は黙々とそのゲームで得られる感覚を自分の心に問いかけることから始めていました。世界観もキャラクターもゲームデザインも決めずに、ただどんな感覚がいいんだろうと探っていました。そうしているうちにぬくもり、頼もしさ、そして寂しさが入り混じったような感覚が最もしっくりきたんです。自分の心に反応しました。隔離された主人公エマとこの世界を一緒に旅していくぬくもりのある相棒クーもその過程で生まれました。
古島からビースト・オブ・リンカネーションのコンセプトを聞いてとても興味を惹かれ、すぐに参加しようと心に決めました。長年ゲームフリークではポケットモンスターシリーズを通じて生き物やパートナーを
I'm surprised how much they're referencing Pokemon in this.
しかし今回
I
の
thought
プロ
they'd
ジェ
keep
ク
that
ト
to
で
the
は
side
過
because
酷な
Nintendo.
世界を相棒と共に旅をするという体験を目指しています。汚れと呼ばれる寄生植物が蔓延している世界がかつての文明の廃棄を覆い尽くすほどまでに植物が生い茂った過酷な環境となっており、ダイナミックな移動が要求されます。
Oh, cool.
このような経緯で地を張って自由に操ることのできる鶴のような神をエマの能力にすることになり、プロトタイプも出来上がってきました。そしてそれがエ
Looks
マ
a
と
little
いう
rough,
人
but
物の
like, I
バ
see
ック
the
グラウン
idea.
ドとキャラクターデザインを形作っていったんです。
これまでゲームフリークは動植物や自然と真摯に向き合ってきました。形状を自由に変えられて武器のように鋭くなりつつも美しい、そんな中核となるモチーフとして植物を選びました。
Parrying? They're going for Souls-like shit?
美しい植物を
Oh,
風
Jesus
景で
Christmas.
表現するだけではなく、遊びにも植物
I
を
like this
取り入
music
れ
though.
ました。
Very near, very Stellar Blade.
しっくりとくるモチーフを見出し、ゲームデザインとモチーフを紐付けることはポケットモンスターシリーズの開発を通じて培ってきた重要なステップです。モチーフが決まった段階でコンセプトアーティストの幸田一馬さんご協力のもと、この世界のビジュアルを形作っていくことにしました。エマとクーの姿を思い描いた
I
時、
really like the world.
自然に支配される世界の
As a
舞
Nier
台として
Automata
日
fan,
本がぴったりだと
Nier in
考え
general.
ました。
This is straight up Nier
日本
Automata.
の昔から続く山
But I
々
don't
に
mind.
囲まれた自然豊かな風景と SF が入り混じった世界をエマとクーが歩く姿を自然にイメージできました。さらに植物をモチーフとした重要な存在として植物と動物が融合した生物でもある腐植体も出来上がっていきました。腐植体のデザインは当時私が注目していたデジタルアーティストの森田裕樹さんにお願いすることにしました。
世界の舞台を作るのと同時にエマとクーの物語を作り上げていきました。ストーリーの舞台は西暦4026年の日本です。はるか昔に発生した汚れという名の寄生植物の影響で人類の大半が消滅した後の世界です。エマは腐植体を借り、その汚れを自分の体に封じ込めることができるという特別な能力を持っています。ただそれがゆえにエマは恐れられ、人々が住むコロニーから隔離され暮らしています。エマと彼女の相棒となるクーは日本の東の地で出会います。そのクーの目的がこのゲームの謎の一つでもあります。
名前は何だ？
クーだ。
クーから目を離さない方がいい。
ああ、分かってる。 封じ後エマ、お前に輪廻の獣討伐の
Even the robots are very near
都に迫る
derivative.
輪廻の獣を討伐するにはエマと空の力を強化していく必要があります。そのためにこの世界に存在する強力な腐食体主を討伐し、その力を取り込んでいくことになります。汚れを封じることができるエマにしかできない特別な役目です。腐食体はこの世界の F の対象であり、最も象徴的な存在です。汚れに寄生されて巨大化していった生物たちです。
Okay, give me some gameplay that doesn't look like it's
エマと空が戦う強力な敵です。腐食体は汚れを吐き、その巨体で世界を蹂躙していきました。腐食体の中でもひときわ大きい主と呼ばれる存在は植物を操り、
Doesn't look perfect,
自
but
身
it
の支配
definitely
地
looks
域に汚れの森を
not like
建
what
立
you'd
します。
expect from Game Freak.
汚れの森に入ると周囲の環境がガラッと変わります。手強い腐食体が襲いかかり、プレイヤーの行く手を阻むのです。そしてこの世界にはゴーレムというもう一つの勢力があります。ゴーレムは
I just want to see more
過酷な世
gameplay
界を
with
生
the
き
UI
残るた
on.
め
Like, what am I
か
going to
つ
be
ての人
playing?
間が魂を機械の体に転送した姿です。2000年の間に凄まじい戦闘技術を身につけましたが、一方で魂は劣化してしまっていて暴走しています。
Oh, cool. Kind of like dashed in the air. Okay.
エマとクーはさまざまな人物と出会います。長い旅をサポートするブラッド、カグラであったり、あとはクナイというエマと同じように腐食体を連れた剣士とも巡り合います。
Hell's Paradise vibes for the plant monsters. Yeah.
とどめ
Cool.
はきちんと
I
さ
read
せ
that whole manga. Yeah, that's a good connection.
エマとクー
Very,
は同じ
very,
く汚れ
very
の力
similar.
を宿していて、互いにその力を影響させ合いながら戦います。例えばエマが敵の動きを見極め攻撃を受け流すと、クーに力がたまり
Give me
開
UI
花技とい
elements.
う強力な効果を持った技を発動できます。
Yeah, that's better. Show me. Yeah.
そし
Okay.
て開花
I feel
技を放
I
て
feel
ば
that a lot more
さ
because
ら
I
に
know
次
what
の
I'm
アクション
playing.
の選
Okay.
択肢に幅が広がります。例えばある開花技を使うとエマは彼岸花の大輪を咲かせ、その大輪に跳躍して兜割りを行うことができます。また別の開花技を使えば敵を縛り、エマの強力な闘技を敵に叩き込むことができます。開花技の選択中は時間がスローになり、考える時間が生まれます。ターンベースの RPG
Seems
コマ
very
ンドで
inspired
考え
by
ることになります。
7 Remake in a way where you can like slow down
エ
time
マ
and
とクーの
choose an
連携は
ability.
研ぎ澄まされていきます。互いに補い合う関係で2人は常につながっているんです。エマとクーにはそれぞれスキルツリーがあり、エマが行動すればクーに影響を与え、クーが行動すればエマに影響が与えられるようにしました。またエマとクーの親密度が上昇するにつれて装備できるスキルも多くなります。さまざまなスキルを組み合わせることで独自のプレイスタイルを作っていくことができるんです。さらにエマとクーを結びつける霊秘石やエマが受け流しを行った際に発動する刀の効果を重ねていくことなどで、より奥深い戦闘ができるようになっています。遠距離だけで戦う人もいれば、ステルスだけで戦う人もいますし、常にエマで戦闘を仕掛ける人もいれば、クーを先行させて戦わせる人もいます。エマとクーでどのような装備でどのような霊秘石と組み合わせて戦うのか、プレイヤーの皆さん次第です。皆さんがどんな意外な組み合わせを生み出すのか、今からとても楽しみです。
That track I'm hearing right now, that piano is straight up from the first Nier.
汚れ
Dude.
に
Come
追い
on.
尽くされた美しくも
And they have the
過酷な
voice
新たな
kick
世
in.
界
That's
企画構
crazy.
想
That's
から
straight up
6年間
fucking ripping Nier.
私た
That's
ちは
crazy.
この世界に数えきれない秘密や奥深い魅力を散りばめることに全力を注いできました。
Yeah, like building high key pianos going.
全てのプレイヤーの
That's like the tower in
ビー
Nier
スト・オブ・リン
Automata
カネー
as
ション
well.
の世界を体験していただける日が待ちきれません。本作は今年の夏 Xbox、PC、そしてプレイステーションでリリースされます。
I think it looks good. You know, like I don't know if I'm gonna go out of my way to play it, but I think for a Game Freak game, it looks a lot better than I expected.
ぜひウィッシュリストにご登録ください。ゲームフリークが挑む
I think if it
今週の
weren't
新
Game
作、
Freak, I'd be way
どう
less
ぞご
curious
期待ください。
It seems very derivative of like Stellar Blade, Nier, those sorts of things where Sekiro. Like it doesn't look like anything new, but it looks like a blending of those ideas. But it could be the same composer as well for Nier, but I feel like they would have mentioned that. Summer 2025 though. All right, keep a lookout. Oh, here you go. Double Fine. There's your secret game.
Oh, hello. I'm Tim Schafer, founder and studio head of Double Fine Productions. And this is Elspeth Larkin, senior tools programmer and junior in-house ceramicist. At Double Fine, we try to take a little time every so often and create quick game prototypes. Anyone in the company can pitch a game idea, and we have a vote on which ones we want to try to make. We forget the projects we're currently working on, basically get amnesia, and we do this for 2 weeks. That's a fortnight. And we build a few of these experimental game prototypes. We call this process Amnesia Fortnight. We've had all sorts of great ideas come out of this process. It's just like this clay. With a little bit of pressure and creativity, something interesting is created that wasn't there before. Our next game came out of Amnesia Fortnight. It's all about encouraging you to create with others, and then use what you create to destroy each other. Don't worry, it's easy to make a new pot if you're playing Kiln, our online multiplayer pottery party brawler.
Oh boy. What in the world?
We love to explore new and original ideas here at Double Fine, alongside last year's Weird But Chill game Keeper, featuring surreal and dreamlike exploration. Kiln is the other side of that coin, bringing high-energy, expressive multiplayer action. You'll get a chance today to see how we're continuing to foster our spirit of creativity with this next game. Derek Brand spearheaded this pitch, and he's here today to talk about this fully realized Double Fine experience he's leading with his team.
Kiln is a multiplayer party brawler, and it's just as much about the act of trading with your friends as it is fast-paced competitive destruction. We built this game to respond to your creative design choices, as well as your relentless cruelty to anthropomorphized clay pots. I've spent my career as a concept artist, focused on coming up with unique characters and environments at Double Fine. But I also play a lot of action titles, which got me wondering, what would a game look like that included not just the cathartic element of destruction and action, but the equally cathartic act of creation I was familiar with as an artist? I stumbled on the answer one day: what better solution than a pottery wheel? We wanted to give players the ability to create characters out of any shape and to make sure that what you make has a charming, animated personality. You start off as a little helpless, naked spirit. You're not capable of much in this state. Thankfully, you are capable of manipulating clay, and a pottery wheel is the perfect place for the creation of a new body.
What a unique idea.
And when it comes time for destruction, those shapes needed to translate into capable fighters. Pots that can compete in challenges in a way that only pots
Hey, if you can make a Fusion Frenzy successor, I'm there, man.
Quench brings all of that together in a 4v4 combat party atmosphere. You and your friends need to balance your pot's shape and abilities with its capacity for carrying water into enemy territory. Here, you'll navigate through the environment with your team's unique creations. Avoid or destroy incoming enemy warriors. And of course, fill your pot up with water to ultimately douse the enemy's kiln and win the game.
Got him once. Now keep at it.
With Kiln, we wanted to give players what we know they've always wanted from Double Fine. A best-in-class pottery sim, of course. With this strange concept came lots of design challenges, though, because it's a game about pots that have to transform into bespoke ceramic warriors. We had to figure out how to make an art tool, a character builder, and a loadout system all together, while keeping the whole experience approachable for anyone, not just pottery masters.
I've noticed a lot of this
iterations
direct has been
balancing
approachable to
simulation with
anyone.
arcade-like
If you're new,
simplicity,
hop on
we
in,
landed on
like-
a design that lets you feel like a master
In this case,
potter
it makes sense for
who
this
can
game, but just
easily
in
make
general, it
any
just
pottery
comes up a
shape you
lot.
could dream up, even if you've never seen a potter's wheel. It's weirdly satisfying. We've carefully
Pretty
married
cool.
the clay technology with the behavior of the sculpting tools and controls to make sure anyone can pick it up in seconds. Refine it with sponges, shapers, and straight edge tools to get specific and make it yours. As you sculpt, you'll notice the game recognizing the different shapes you've made. It'll automatically detect when you're shaping
I think we
things
all
like
know which
cups,
shape most dudes are gonna
vases,
go ahead and
bowls,
try to
and
make.
many more.
Getting
So
close.
that means we had to ask ourselves, if I was a vase, and this vase that I just made was now my body, what can I, as a vase, do?
Every pot and kiln needs to have a core set of moves fit for a warrior. To run, jump, attack, and roll. They also must have moves fit for a pot to fill up with water and then splash that water out. Each shape has its own unique way of performing these moves. And because your shape matters, the animation team has taken on the challenge of bringing those different pot shapes to life in surprising ways. In addition to these core moves, each shape also has its own special attack, which we push to be the most fun and over-the-top moments in the game. Cups
Oh, that was
popping
cool, like a little
popcorn,
hockey.
bottles turning into swords, jugs blaring like megaphones, plates flinging pies. Everyone's shape is doing something different and exciting.
As you fight over the water on the battlefield and try to extinguish your opponent's kiln, you'll have to
I'm
pay
curious if it'll be
attention
out
to each
today.
map's unique
I feel like
nuances.
it's showing the most gameplay out of
Our
everything.
mantra of shape matters carries over into our maps. We specifically designed our maps to integrate with how you choose to play and what pot you choose to play as. So you'll see things like secret tunnels that only fit certain size pots and pathways that are only traversable with certain shapes.
Whoa.
You'll fight on fractured, floating pieces of ancient history, like an ancient Greek nightclub fit for Dionysus. It's even got a dance floor. Navigate Athena's giant
It's such a weird
strategic
game,
war
bro.
map.
In a good way.
Inflating sponge warriors with water to rearrange the battlefield to your advantage. Fight in the Egyptian god Set's dingy punk venue, complete with a mosh pit where only one pot can emerge unbroken.
It's got a little bit of the Fusion Frenzy
Leverage your
spirit, which is
unique
why I kind of dig it.
creations. Everything from your size, your capacity to carry water, your speed to cross the battlefield, and other choices you can make will define how you want to approach your playstyle. Do you want a team full of
I'm seeing a lot of ball and gun gamers in chat right now, man. It's not like game of the year or anything, but it's not like the fucking worst thing I've seen. Gotta embrace the new ideas, man.
Or a unique combination you've discovered that balances power and splash ability. If you're skilled enough to end up at the enemy kiln with lots of water, you can unleash a powerful super splash ability that does tons of damage and makes the kiln vulnerable to further attacks, letting you and your team dunk on the enemy kiln to either win big or turn the tide and make a comeback.
And that is how it's done.
At the end of a round, the cycle of creation and destruction loops around again.
I will
Now
say,
you're back in the wedge.
I am
A
surprised how much
multiplayer
time they're
lobby
giving
where you
this.
can hang
I
at
will
the
say
wheel
that.
and make
Not as a
something
hater,
cool
just
with
I
your
am
friends.
surprised that
You've
they're
just
giving it
earned
like
XP
equal
points
attention
and
that
chips
all
from
the
battle.
others are
Now you
getting.
can load up on art supplies and expand your pot making options.
I think of the game being so much about the fighting, but when people play it, they just want to create all day long.
Our decoration system was designed to support
Yeah,
your
Alucard put it
creativity.
perfectly.
As
People
we
are like,
did with
devs
the
need to
design
start
of the
taking
sculpting
risks,
process,
and then
we
y'all,
looked to the
some of y'all
pottery
see
studio
something
for
different, and you're like,
We found ways to
Boring.
experience
And I'm not
with
sitting here like
added
I'm having a
spouts,
great time.
lids,
This
and
this
handles,
direct has
as
been
well
kind
as
of mid, but
glazing.
like some people need to practice they preach, bro.
Every
If you
design
want
choice
something
we
different,
made
you get something
ultimately
different.
serves
So
the
not like
goal
that
of
though.
enabling
The
a
fuck, bro?
near
Put a gun in
infinite
his
range of
hand.
possibilities. We
You know?
can't wait to see what your favorite
I get where
designs
people are coming from though.
It's
If this
all
isn't
about
your
my
if this
pizza
isn't your
party
cup of tea,
theme, small job.
I get it.
It
But I'm
becomes a
just saying
drill
we need
that can
we
dive
can't
under
have our
enemies,
cake and
and
eat
it
it too.
pops up with a special delivery of destruction.
I love
Anyway,
a
stop
medium
arguing.
jug,
We're about to get to
a
Fable. We need to
simple
unite. We need to
handle, a
unite.
two-layer watermelon glaze, and I'm ready to bring the good vibes
I just think
to the chaos.
I think Double Fine needs to make like a more traditional.
My favorite is the
game
large
like they made
base.
before.
It has a UFO-like animation
like
and
Psychonauts
it's
do.
great for team defense and protecting your base.
Hands down, the best pot shape is a small bowl. It's perfect for sneaking past enemies. Plus, its ice cream theme special is so cute.
One of my favorite warrior pots has to be the medium base. It's decently fast for invading enemy players and matches. The decorations really make it shine. A curved elbow spout, cupid's handle, some spiked charms, with a rainbow
Vader worth
blaze,
6,000
and one
dollars.
butt
Thanks
sticker.
for showing up.
You can't go wrong with butt stickers.
Butt stickers is
My
crazy, bro.
favorite pots use the absolute most material possible to make the biggest pots possible. I call it tiny.
Whichever pot you decide to create, whether you're a budding artist or a seasoned gamer, you'll be fulfilling your pottery power fantasies when Kiln launches in spring 2026
Oh, it's
on
not even
Xbox,
shadow dropping.
PlayStation,
Wow.
and PC. This
They
is
want
just
a
the
PlayStation,
beginning
though.
of the
There you
Pottery
go.
Party, as we bring regular updates throughout the year with expanded decorations, new activities and game modes, and much more. Creating is more fun together, and we'd love your help sculpting this experience. Be on the lookout to throw down with fellow Double Fine fans and join the Double Fine Action Insiders for an even earlier look and a chance to play in our closed beta very soon.
You want me to say it 5 times? That's mean. Am I supposed to? Okay. This game is called Kiln, an online multiplayer party brawler, online multiplayer party brawler. I'll never do it twice. Okay, I can do it again. Online multiplayer party brawler. It's getting better. Online multiplayer party brawler.
There you go. Spring. That's a big one. Okay, here we go. Give me what I came for. Yes! Please be good, dude. Oh, please be good. Okay, here we go. It's real.
Hi, welcome to Playground Games, where I'm thrilled to share our very first deep dive into a game we've been making here for a really, really long time.
Lock in.
Fable.
I'm like nervous for them.
Playground Games is renowned for fun,
There's your male
immersive,
protagonist.
and
There you go.
visually stunning open-world experiences. Since 2010, we've been developing the Forza Horizon series right here in Royal Leamington Spa, a charming little town in the middle of England. As Horizon has grown, so have we. Over the past few years, we've built a new team to carry that reputation into a new genre that we are incredibly passionate about. Fable is Playground's first open-world action RPG, and we couldn't be more proud to be carrying on the work of the legendary Lionhead Studios, the original creators of the franchise. And although
I
our
like
game
that they
is a
tipped
new
the cap.
beginning, I
Nice.
think what we're making is really faithful to the spirit of the classic Lionhead trilogy that we all love.
There you go.
At the heart of our game is a simple recurring question. What does it mean to you to be a hero? Our game is about choices and their consequences.
Yes.
It's packed with action,
Yes.
drama, British humour, moral dilemmas, and quite a few chickens. All of this combines in a fairy tale which could only be Fable.
In classic Fable fashion, you begin the game as a child.
Yes.
Growing up in the sleepy rural village of
Yes.
Briar Hill.
Okay.
It's here that in a moment of extreme danger, your heroic powers first emerge, and we discover that you are Albion's first hero.
You can
in
tell
a
it's an adult
generation.
model, just shrunken down.
But not long
The
afterwards,
size of the head, the rest
disaster
of the body, and the
strikes,
hair.
and the people of your village, including your beloved grandma, are turned to stone by a mysterious stranger.
Okay.
Suddenly alone in the world, you'll set off on an
Tragic
adventure
upbringing. We
which will
love that.
change Albion forever.
Venturing out into the world is a huge moment because this is Albion like you've never seen it before. Idyllic rolling hills, magical forests, Bustling villages.
Show me snow. Show me snow.
Sleepy hamlets.
Okay.
Oversized vegetable patches.
Cool.
And stunning vistas.
I want to see snow.
And because our Albion is truly open world, for the first time, you'll be able to explore this rich and detailed world seamlessly, with the freedom to go where you want from early in the
That's
game.
actually huge.
We can't wait to welcome
Fable 1,
you
2, and
back
3 are
to
broken up with a
Albion's
ton of load screens.
iconic capital city, Bowerstone. Home to Fairfax Castle, the old
Bowerstone.
clock tower, and the legendary Heroes Guild.
Yeah.
It's a huge city,
man.
full of contrasts. Rich and poor, nobles and commoners, royalty and criminals. You'll spend plenty of time here during the game, as you discover the secrets of the Heroes Guild and its reclusive guildmaster, Humphrey the Golden.
In the north of Albion, you'll find mountains, craggy coastlines, spooky marshes, and the bleak, windswept city of Bloodstone.
Oh, Fable 2.
Here, you'll meet the leaders of two
So they got
rival
Fable 1 and
gangs
Fable 2 stuff, okay.
vying for power, and uncover the secrets of the sinister but extremely well-organized Cult of Shadows. Our Albion is beautiful, handcrafted, and richly detailed.
Oh.
In Albion, heroes are special.
Frame rate.
Different. They're stronger than regular people. They're more skillful, more charismatic. More importantly, they're those rare humans who can harness and use magic in the world around them. They have the power to do what they want.
And so do you. In our game, we want you to play as the hero you want to be. And that starts with being able to choose how your hero character looks.
So, in Fable, you'll be able to pick from a range of different character heads and customize your clothing.
There you go.
Skin tone,
Everyone
tattoos,
relax.
and scars. So the hero you play represents you.
But as well as your appearance, you can be the hero you want to be through the way you play, through the skills and abilities you learn, and through the weapons you use.
Just like the classic
dagger
trilogy,
and sword.
heroes in our game fight with a combination of
Okay,
strength,
wow.
skill, and will. Seamlessly blending melee and ranged weapons with magical abilities gives us style-weaving combat.
Combat reminds me a little bit of Veilguard, I'm not gonna lie. And the UI reminds me a lot
Allowing
of
you
Veilguard,
to show
I'm not
off
gonna
your
lie.
personal playstyle against single opponents and large groups of enemies alike. Melee is at the heart of our close quarters combat. You'll use light and heavy combos, often knocking enemies off balance and executing stylish finishers.
Okay, stagger
Swap to your
gauge is
ranged
at the heart
weapon
of
to
it.
bypass enemy guard and deal with troublesome flying enemies. And of course, you'll be able to unleash your powerful spells to both manipulate and devastate your opponents.
Nice.
We're excited to be bringing back some fan-favorite adversaries for you to fight.
Okay. Hoi! Oh, sweet, he can actually hit his own teammate.
Hobbs are back, as are Balverines, Hollowfolk, and Trolls.
Oh, cool. Oh, I really
And we're
like that.
adding
That was
brand
cool.
new
Little
enemies
reaction.
too, like this fearsome cockatrice, a giant fire-breathing chicken. Each enemy family is different, with their own weaknesses to exploit and defenses to overcome. But with all the unique tools in your combat toolbox, how you defeat your enemies is up to you.
Okay. So we're seeing skill, might, magic.
But there's
Okay,
more to
classic
being
Fable.
a hero in Albion than fighting. So much more. When we talk to people about their favorite memories of the original games, so many of their stories were about the stuff you can do when you weren't just being a hero. The normal, everyday stuff which happened when you interacted with the people of Albion.
Okay, this is
For
it.
me, what I remember most vividly are the inhabitants of Albion, and the things you can do with them, or to them.
The crazy thing about the classic Fable games was that in the middle of a sprawling RPG was almost a complete other game where you could just mess around with the villages and townsfolk.
And we've built that same experience in the middle of our game too. Buying a house, getting a job,
Yes!
making some money.
Yes! Oh, dude.
Romancing a villager, getting married, having kids.
Fancy a date?
Yes!
Perfect.
Yes.
To know me
Oh,
better.
dude, yes. Yes, you could give them
Buying
gifts and
another
shit.
house. Buying every house in Albion.
You could buy the houses. Oh my God, please, please, let me tax
Buying every
them.
business in Albion. Getting rich.
Marrying a bunch
You
more
have kids
people,
running around your
having
house,
a bunch more
dude,
kids, probably
dude.
getting divorced along the way for good measure.
You can get divorced. Force.
This game within a game is unique to Fable. It's systemic, interconnected, and you see the
Oh
ripple
my
effects
God.
of the things you do everywhere you go.
Dude, yes, this is what I was
And
so
all of
worried
this
about.
revolves around the
Choice
people
and
who
consequence
live in
now.
Albion, who we call the living population. There are more than 1,000 of them, and every single one is unique.
Yes.
Each of them has a name, a role, a
Oh,
daily
okay.
routine, and their own personality. You could follow any one of them for a day and just watch them live their life.
Bold
Then get
challenge.
up, go to work, spend some leisure time on hobbies, then go home to bed.
But what's even cooler is that you can talk to
music's
every
good, too.
single one of them in fully voiced conversations and interact with them in loads of different ways. Maybe the job they go to is working for you because you hired them to work in one of your businesses.
Hey, you. Working hard? How can I help you, boss?
Maybe
Oh,
the bed they sleep
cool. They
in
like
is
because
in a
you hired
house
them?
you own, because you're the landlord.
Or maybe their bed is on the street because you evicted them.
Oh, no way!
Yes, you. You're awful.
Yes!
All of the stuff you
Yes,
do
they don't
affects
like
what
me.
they think
Yes.
of you.
You're a legend.
Because everything you do builds your reputation.
Very impressive.
Yes, I just love that they're like NPCs quipping at
Morality
you
has
and
always
just
been super
fucking
important
like
to
just
Fable.
not talking to you like
That
actual people
tension
talk to
between
you.
Good and
Nice.
evil underpinned all of
Nice.
the original games. And morality is central to our game too.
Yes, they're getting the
But
morality.
we have
Okay.
a slightly different take on it.
Okay. Okay, these poor chickens, bro.
For us, morality isn't black and white.
Oh no.
There are lots of grey areas.
No, I talked about
And
this. in my video.
importantly, morality is subjective. No two people see things exactly the same way.
Please don't
And that's how it works in our game too.
Everything you do earns you a reputation. And every person in Albion will have a different reaction to you as a result.
Hello there.
Yeah, we get it. You're rich.
They'll remember things you did directly to them, they'll love you or hate you for the choices you make, and they will always tell you why. Although, usually from a safe distance.
Our game will never judge you, but the people of Albion will, loudly.
Imbecile.
Your reputation is created by the choices you make, and you are going to make a lot of them. Big choices, little choices, moral choices, and some choices that will actually change the landscape of Albion for the rest of your game. We call this idea, your choices change the world. Let's give you an example.
Yeah, just show me
Early
evil.
in the game,
Because
you
you're
meet a
scaring me
character
right now.
named Dave, an egotistical gardener in a rural village who discovers a magical growth formula. He accidentally turns himself into a giant and becomes a big problem. It'll be your job to deal with him, and ultimately it will be your choice whether to kill him or to spare him. If you kill him, his giant corpse will lie on the farmland just outside of town for the rest of the game.
And that is going to affect house prices. It will also affect what a lot of the villagers think about you.
Especially Dave's sister.
In Fable, the choices you make will define you. What does being a hero mean to you?
At Playground Games, we've built a pedigree for beautiful, immersive, open-world experiences. Yes, they've typically involved sports cars, but this is a passion project for all of us here. Every member of this team, which we've built from scratch, has two key things in common: a deep love for the franchise and a burning desire to bring it back. We're making this for Fable fans just like us, but also to introduce Fable to gamers who've never played the series before.
And that's why we're going
It's
to PlayStation.
been great to finally tell you a little about the game we're making. There'll be much more to share as we get closer to our launch. I'm excited to tell you today that Fable is coming to Xbox, PC, and PlayStation in autumn 2026.
Autumn, okay.
From all of us here, thanks for watching.
Okay. Okay. That window is around where I was thinking it would be. All right. I have lots of thoughts. We'll go over it. I just want to make sure this is over. I don't think there's a secret fifth game or anything, right? Okay. Okay. Not a date, but ultimately, okay. I got a lot to get off my chest here. We'll no doubt make a video about it today. Don't worry. So if y'all got a split, but these are immediate thoughts, immediate reaction before anything digests. they pretty much nailed everything I wanted them to. If you look at my video, they did hit everything I wanted them to. I think it looks great. I have morality concerns. That's the big one for me. That is like, they didn't go into, they're like, you can do evil things, but I don't like that they went morality's not black and white, because I don't believe Fable exists in a gray area. And they're like, no two people see it one way or the other. It's like, they didn't show horns growing out of my character. It seems like I can tax the shit out of people, but like, and I can choose to kill people. Like, I can make these evil choices, but does that define how my character looks? Like, I don't know if they sold me on morality fully. Because I think the important thing they highlighted here is that you start off as a kid, you have something tragic happen to you. That's all the Fable games. Like, something tragic happens when you're growing up. And that kind of is like, I love that, because it's the idea of like, that's your origin story as the hero or as the villain. I don't think it's like, that's the origin story of the gray character who's a merc and lives sort of in the middle. I could be dead wrong. I just don't think of Fable quite like that. And so that's like my only hang up. Combat looks solid enough. I think the UI is a little basic. Like, I just wish it was more stylized. It looks very familiar. It reminds me a lot of Veilguard. But I thought the combat itself looked good. The kind of social game stuff looked great. Like, you saw blacksmithing. That looked meaningful, which is what I was asking for. You could buy every house. All the NPCs are like there and alive and have their own schedules. That's something I was asking for. It looked good. But it's just that morality. It's like a little, like, I just need to see a little bit more. Oh, Josh, here, I'll check it out. Let's see what we got. We got the Xbox blog post for more information on Fable here. Let's read together, guys. Hold on. Shout out to Josh. Appreciate you, bro. Okay. Yeah, perfect super chat. I want horns and halos and mystery of darkness. I'm talking Jack of Blades. I don't know if they'll do Jack of Blades. Maybe they'll like throw back to him, but like, I agree. Horns and halos. Huge. Let's read this together real quick. Here. Answering the big questions after the long-awaited developer direct. Okay. Oh, this is a big one. Let's read it. Let's read it. Fuck it. We got time. Okay, today at Developer Direct, we got our first in-depth look at Fable, the open-world action RPG, new beginning for a truly legendary Xbox series, and learn that it'll arrive this autumn. Okay, this is all just set up. During Developer Direct, learn how stories begin, saw combat action, had character customization confirmed, discovered how classic morality system is being reintroduced in a whole new way. You see this right here. This right here, man. Just a... like, this here... found out about the game's living population, unique NPCs. That's awesome. But then this here, I imagine these two have to play off each other in a way that, like, they're handshaking. In which case each character views you differently. And maybe that's what they were going for. Like, some characters are inherently evil. They're not going to look at you and go, oh, you're an asshole. They might agree with your decisions. And that could be the saving grace of the morality system and how they're rethinking it. So I don't want to send it out to die yet. But we have Q&A here. Is this a full reboot for the entire series, or does it sit in the existing Fable timeline? I've always referred to this game as a new beginning because one of the things we're convinced of was that we had to reboot the franchise. It's been a long time since the original trilogy. Nearly 2 generations have passed in video game terms, and those original games are still available to play today. Even better than they did back then, thanks to the wizardry of back compat. So we've chosen to not be beholden to the timeline of the original games. The events, the characters, really just to allow ourselves the freedom to build our own Albion and tell our own news. That's a little disappointing. That's a little disappointing. Interesting that they left that part out. Okay. There's a lot of faithfulness in the way we've approached this game. And certainly I think the inspiration of the original trilogy is really clear for everyone to see. But we wanted to make sure we tell that this was the beginning that would allow us to tell stories we wanted to tell. I don't know, bro. That doesn't sound like a good choice to me. Especially Xbox has such a rare opportunity as a platform to have back compat. Like, you have the ability to tell people, go fucking play it. Makes sense as a reboot, but like, at the same time, I feel like, what, you're gonna reintroduce Jack of Blades? Are you gonna reintroduce like Lord Lucian? Is he, or like these towns and things that exist from our, like, I thought what was exciting about this Fable was the idea that because it was a connected open world, you'd have like Bowerstone, you'd have all these different places from Fable 1 and 2 that were split off across the map now being brought into one, and you'd see them like years and years down the line where it was a fresh start for everyone. But it was also like, if you were a diehard Fable fan, you'd see things around the map or these characters or books, things that reference events in the Fable timeline, that would kind of bring it back to those fans. I don't know. I'm seeing some mixed opinions in the chat here. Yeah, no mention of Teresa. Wonder if this will be the first time she's left out. Good question. That would also be, I think, a big one, is if she's not there at all. What's with all these studios dumbing down or avoiding their morality system? Games like Andromeda, Fallout 4, I just don't get the sanitization. I'm in the same boat. I don't really get the mindset behind it, but Andromeda is the one I think of where they're like, we're not doing... And that's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of Andromeda literally saying, we don't need Paragon or Renegade. I'm like, what do you mean? You know, and that time I gave BioWare the benefit of the doubt, but now I know. I'm like, no, changing that's not smart. How are you balancing making a new game while honoring Lionhead's work? Okay, well, maybe they're going to answer the question I was just bitching about here. Let's see. It's one of those questions that we asked ourselves right at the start. What are the essential components of a Fable game? And I don't mean the features or the locations. I mean conceptually, really, what is the essence of Fable? Okay, maybe they're not going to answer my question. One of the things I said to the team was, look, we're not Lionhead. We can't try to make a Lionhead game. This has to be a playground game because I'm really a firm believer that the Lionhead, that the personality and the character of the team is visible in the work that they do and the games they make. And I think you see Lionhead in that original trilogy. It would be pointless, I think, for us to try and ape that. Okay, I get that mindset. And that's really at the heart of the reboot question, right? It felt imperative for me that this was a reboot because we're starting again as Playground Games and making Playground's Fable. If I'm totally honest, back then I wasn't entirely sure how faithful our Fable game would be to the Lionhead games we love. It's very transparent. But as I said during Developer Direct, I'm really pleased to see that this is identifiably a Fable game in a lot of ways. Possibility that you are female to begin with and can later get a gender change. I don't know if they added a, like, change how your character fully looks through magic later in the game. I'm sure they would, though. Seems like they did that, but I'm just glad for all the boys and girls upset out there about how your main character looks that they added customization. What is the essence of a Fable game? They said we came with a bunch of things. First of which I would say is we actually inherited from Lionhead. So when we started working on this project, we had a treasure trove of documents from Lionhead that had been in storage. So you say this, and then you also say it'd be pointless to try to make a Lionhead style game. I'm not trying to hate. I'm just like, it contradicts itself immediately. It's like, we can't make a Lionhead style game, but we also had access to all the design documents and like sensibilities and decision making that we could try, you know. I'm so happy for character selector. That makes me so happy. Yeah, I agree. I think it looks good. And you saw a range of like armor, equipment, that stuff. Good stuff. Let's see here. Something that I thought was just brilliant and succinct was one of the documents which said Fable is fairy tale, not fantasy. It's funny. I was just saying that in our video, which is super. I think I actually used it collectively. I think I said a fairy tale fantasy game, which is just super neat. I guess our interpretation of what that means is that the fairy tale and fantasy probably exist on opposite ends of the spectrum. I think we all know what fantasy is. It's The Witcher, it's Skyrim, it's Lord of the Rings, it's Game of Thrones. And I think tonally it's quite grand. It's sweeping, it's geopolitical, it's serious, you know. You can almost picture the color palette of fantasy. And then fairy tale exists right at the opposite end of the spectrum. Fairy tales are intimate. They're small stories about regular people. They're not grand and sweeping. They're very personal and whimsical. And ultimately, they deal with what happens when magic touches the lives of ordinary folks and also have this kind of moral component to them. And I think this is a brilliant description of what Fable is. It runs through our art style. It runs through the world building. We've really executed against the fairy tale idea in every part of the game that we're building here. It's interesting they reference art style because the art style looks very high res, high fidelity, which Fable was more fairy tale looking. So I don't agree with that either. And then Fable has this other tonal pillar, if you like, which is Britishness. You can't mention Fable without mentioning it's quintessentially British. It's cliche, but it's kind of true. And I don't think that's just because Albion is obviously medieval England through a lens. It's just because, and it's not just because they have a cast with British accents. I think in the original game, in our game as well, there's British sensibility, a tone, a voice, a way of thinking about things. And it goes to the humor as well. That British humor that the original games used to such great effect is absolutely essential component of our game as well. It's about the freedom of choice and consequence. We call that freedom in the sense that it's the freedom to make the choices you want. It's the freedom to be the kind of hero you want to be. It's a freedom to go where you want and do what you want. And those things wrap up into what people really remember about the original Fable games. And therefore, it became imperative for us to include that ability to make choices. Our game is packed full of choices, but also to see the consequences of that and live with the consequences of the choices you make. For us, at like DNA level, that's what Fable games are, including our own. Okay. We already went over this in the Dev Direct. Time jump and rejoin you. Okay, so after you emerge a hero, time jump, rejoin you in Briar Hill, your starter village in adulthood. For the rest of the game, you'll play as a mature adult in their prime. Okay. I did like that Fable 1 went through multiple phases like kid. And then that the real events of the game start to unfold. The inciting event, the thing that is the catalyst for your story, is what happens to your grandma in the village that you grew up in. Everyone, I hope this is like a nice, strong segment. This will be key to the whole game, right? Because think about the intro to Fable 1, the intro to Fable 2, like Oakvale and whatnot. Like I think this adds a lot to it. So I think it's really important they get it right. Everyone in the village is turned to stone by a mysterious stranger. You're suddenly alone in the village and forced to go out into the world, and your motivation is to try and figure out what happened to them and try and reverse it. The only clue you have is this mysterious stranger who you only really caught a glimpse of at the start of the game. I bet this is like Teresa. Finding this stranger seems like the only thread you can pull and only lead you can follow, so that's how we get you out into the world. And there's one last thing that your grandmother says to you. She mentions Bowerstone, the Heroes Guild, and how it's Heroes Guild that the great heroes live, and if you need help, they're the people to go to. It's a soft implication that you should head to the Heroes Guild. Okay, so there's your intro to the game. What do we got here? Shrek, yes, love Shrek. It's disappointing. Doesn't seem to change your appearance based on evil or how good you are. Let's read the rest of this article. We'll see. I feel like they would have shown it if that were the case. So yeah, I am a little concerned about that. I wish they would have made Fable 2 and 3 before to PC like the Fable 1 remaster. I agree. I think it's a mistake not to have them there, but now that they're doing a complete reboot, I think this is why they're not bringing those games forward, because they're not going to build off of them in a meaningful way at all. That's a hell of an ask, Batman. You want the body to decompose and smell bad and have people react to it? Maybe they will. I don't know. That's an interesting request. I've never seen that before, but yeah. If his body's there the whole game, why not? Why not think about it on that level? Let's see here. Anniversary Icon Enjoyer is Lost Chapters. It's Lost Chapters, but remastered for 360. So it's some cleaner visuals. So get Anniversary. Let's see here. Nature of the game is that as soon as you leave the village, you can pretty much go anywhere. It's truly open world, so the world is yours to explore. That's cool. And we've written the story so there are stakes. Grandmother, your village, but there's no ticking time bomb. Okay, so it kind of lets you get lost in wherever you want to go, whatever you want to do. There's nothing forcing you along the path because we want to allow the player the permission to just go and do something. You could go to Northerly Village in Albion, get a job, settle down, get married if you want. The story will wait for you. I think that's cool. I like that a lot. How does the open world work? Are you level gaining? Good question. Good question. Right from the start of the project, we always felt it was important that the player can go wherever they want. From the moment you leave your village and venture out into Albion for the first time, even if we know the majority will do the sensible thing, you know, I've got to save my grandma. We know there are a bunch of people who are going to be like, okay, I'm going to go see what this world is about. Right? Good call. We want to accommodate them, probably more than accommodate them. We want to make sure that they're having fun, exciting, immersive things to do wherever they choose to go in the world. So we took that as a sort of North Star. And then we built progression and leveling and difficulty balancing around that. I don't want to go north and then find that there's an area I can't go to because I'm not a sufficient level. We'll talk more about leveling and progression at a future date. Okay. But you should know that being able to go to any one of the settlements in the world and have things, fun things to do there was imperative to us. And so we shaped our progression around that requirement. Okay, cool. I like that they were thinking of that. What do we got here? Another super chat. Thank you. I want Fallout 3 Remake, but you can join the Enclave as a faction. I'm sorry, but I love the Enclave. I like how you wrote Olive. I love the Enclave. I'm just teasing. But yeah, I would love that too. I don't like that the Enclave is a straight up villain faction in Fallout 3. I would like to be able to join them, be the evil character I want to be. But okay, so it seems like the world's going to scale with your level based on what they're talking about here, which I think sounds fine to me. If they want this to be an accessible, go where you want, do what you want, open world, I think no level gating is a smart choice. That sounds good to me. Let's see here. What we got here? I think there are I hope there are at least 3+ major cities and towns, like Knothole Glade, etc. Yeah, it looks like they're going to cover a lot of ground. I mean, they showed already like 2 major cities, and expanded what we knew about them based off the original. So, yeah, I look at this and think to myself, like, I think they're going to do that. I don't think you have to worry too much about that. All right, combat. We're taking the original game's mix of melee, ranged, and magic, strength, skill, will. I said magic during the stream. Yeah, will. And turning it into what we call style weaving combat. Cool. I like that. We want to create a combat system which is fluid to allow you to really frictionlessly, seamlessly swap from melee to range to magic without even a frame's delay on it. You should be able to strike with a sword and then hurl a fireball into a smooth movement. So that's what we set out to achieve. That sounds good. I like that. The combat scenarios that you're going to find in our game are often about the groups of enemies and usually a tactical mix of enemies who will force you into choosing how to use your range, your melee, and your magic to crowd control and to pick them off and really to navigate the particular combat challenge that a particular set of enemies presents to you. And there is still ample variety. Within those styles, you pick the kind of fighter you want to be. You can opt for big damage spells, tactical crowd control spells. You can go for super precise or blunt force with your weapons. It's up to you. I like that. This sounds good. And it looked good. You can still self-express when you're in combat in our games. It's all about cycling through and tactically using the different options available to you. So very Witcher-esque, like we had kind of seen so far, where you're like cycling options, which is good. A Large Hog Gamer, the original games are not open world. So the original games are hubs, and there's usually if you thought Starfield had a lot of loading screens, oh boy, Fable 1 through 3 will teach you something. 2 is a lot more open though. 2 is a lot more open. Good point, Gorge. No dialogue options. We didn't really see how our character's going to express themselves. Could even use an arena for multiplayer interactions. Yeah, they didn't talk multiplayer yet, but I feel like they're going to do it. I feel like multiplayer is going to be in this game. It's just me, or did Fable look more like Hogwarts Legacy in a Fable game? It did remind me a little bit of Hogwarts Legacy. A little bit. Like, I can see where you're coming from on that. They kind of had a similar soul. Ironically, I was not a big Hogwarts Legacy fan. Oh, IGN did an interview as well, Josh. All right, we'll see if we can give that a look here. Let's see. It looks like there are emergent elements to combat. We see Hob accidentally hit one of his own companions, enemy weak spots that you can cause specific reactions. I really like that with the combat. I think that's going to be like sneaky awesome. Like being able to shoot the leg of an enemy and they flop over. I love that stuff. Is that built into how you play? Very much so. All of our enemies have strengths and weaknesses, and part of the fun of combat is figuring out how to exploit them using different weapons and abilities that you've equipped yourself. And obviously, that sort of compounds when you've got multiple enemies in the same encounter, and you're trying to marshal all of them and find the best way through it. That Hob that accidentally killed his pal in the video just happened by accident. When we were capturing from the build, we thought we'd keep it because it's funny and very much in keeping with that fan favorite enemy. But yeah, keeping in as much of that kind of friendly fire stuff as possible adds a little bit of chaos and humor to the combat. I agree. I really like that mindset. I guess one of the questions we've asked ourselves is, if humor is important to Fable, how does it manifest in the combat and inherently serious pursuit? So I think the fairy tale creatures have a ton of personality and thus, a bunch of humor about them. Yeah, I like that. It's good. Yeah, so far for me, the only hang up really is just expression of morality and maybe the reboot stuff. But it's a fresh start, so I can get over that, I think. Hold on, let's see here. I'm getting hyped. Performance looked a bit rough. I don't know if I agree on the performance side. I thought it looked fine. It looked visually very nice, but yeah, there were parts that were 60 and there were parts that were definitely quality mode. The franchise needs a reboot. They got the Industrial Revolution in Fable 3 plus Lionhead moving on from Teresa themselves. If you got to the end of the journey, which nobody played, of course. Good point. Good counter argument. That's something to consider when I talk about it in a video. Very good point. Especially, yeah, if you're at the end of that point, then Fable has to go back. If it's going to be fantastical like we know and love, then it's got to go back to the beginning. It's a very fair point. I like that. Good counter argument. I'm all for a complete reboot. The stories were never really strong to begin with. It was more focused on you. For me, it's always been about the gameplay and minigames, which seem to have stuck. Yeah. Yeah. No, I like these defenses. I agree. Ultimately, it really is about the tale and how you interweave. Because, like, I can't tell you about every character in Fable, but I can tell you about what I did to them. So if it's about personal expression, which, hey, look at this here. How has the classic Fable morality system changed? That's what I care most about. What's going on, Tuhar? Good to see you, brother. Let's see what they got here. To take it back to the start, morality was always such an important part of the original trilogy. Even the box art. Yeah. Hold up. This right here, man. Oh, hang on. That is one of my favorite box arts of all time. Oh, I'm trying to get the lack of reflection. There you go. Good, evil. Good, evil. Where is it? Where is it? Another one. Raw. Good, evil. Good, evil. And then this one, funny enough, just reaching for the crown. It goes against the Fable DNA, and we see what happens. That's funny. But good arguments on the morality of the game and the reboot of the game. Oh, we got another super chat here. I hope they include dynamic body growth reactive to eat. No. We're not gonna. Batman, you want bodies to decompose. You want this stuff too. I'm telling you, bro. Like I gotta bring you down a notch. You're asking for the world. You're gonna be disappointed. I'm telling you right now, you're gonna be disappointed. Here, let's keep reading. Morality was always such an important part of the original trilogy. Box art. I think the original trilogy is inextricably. That's a new word, actually. I don't think inextricably linked. Oh, that's interesting. I don't think I've ever seen this word before. Inextricably linked. Nice. Get smarter every day. Okay. Linked with the concept of good and evil, but I think morality in video games has moved on to the intervening period. How we think about morality in the world today has really informed how we want to represent it as a game system. To say that there is no objective good, there's no objective evil. Really, it's just about people's subjective opinions and what they choose to value in someone else when they make that judgment. So as you saw in Developer Direct, our version of morality isn't a sliding scale. We've chosen to anchor this around the actions you do, and specifically the things you do in Albion that are witnessed by at least one other person. So if the things you do are seen by other people, you'll start to earn a reputation for that thing. Obviously, we use the chicken kicking example because kicking chickens is a classic Fable thing. So if a person sees you kicking a chicken, you'll start to get the reputation as a chicken chaser. And if enough people see you do it, and you do it a lot, the reputation will become one of the things you're known for, and that's settlement. So someone said this in the chat earlier. It sounds like settlement-based reputations rather than character-defining one. We'll see in a moment here. People react to you based on what they think about your particular reputation. But crucially, different people will view that reputation different ways. Kicking chicken isn't objectively good or objectively evil in a way everyone will agree on. It comes down to the unique worldview of the NPC and what they think of you because of it. So I think this goes back to what I was saying earlier. I think what's happening here is because of their world NPC system, what I think they're doing here is actually interesting, because it's possible that they're making it where every NPC has its own set of beliefs and thoughts and feelings, and those influence how they react to things. Like if you're just bad, everyone thinks you're bad. It's like, well, if someone's evil in a town, they might think you're pretty great for what you're doing, you know? So let's see. I just want to see if we can be evil. Okay. This applies for being generous or being a bigamist or being a thief and so on. There are a significant number of reputations that you can get. You have a word cloud of reputations in every settlement, and they can be different from place to place. It means you can create completely different identities in all the different settlements by being a different person, behaving in different ways. Chad, how do you guys feel about that? I'm conflicted, man. I should really finish reading this, but like I'm a little conflicted reading that, because I look at this and I think, okay, so I can be a good guy in one place and an evil guy in another place. It makes sense in the context of an open world, but I'm wrestling with it a little bit. I'm curious what other people feel about that. I can't say for sure. I guess you got to play it to find out, but it's not traditional, and I'm not trying to be beholden to the traditional system, but it sounds like they're trying to do a balancing act. So conflicted. Some people are booing. Some people are saying it's fine. It makes sense. Technically more in depth, but way less interesting to experience. Yeah, that's a good way of thinking about it. Ruins the point of Fable. It's more realistic. Yeah, it seems similar to KCD with its reputation. Yeah, true. Yeah, this will be a key point here. This will be a very key point here. That word cloud is how people see you in particular settlements, and therefore it defines how they react to you in every way they can react. And these peasants are not backwards in telling you what they think as you walk around. That range is catcalling you in the street, how likely they are to be romanced by you, if you can marry them, if it affects prices in shops. There's a whole system that has a trickle-down effect of your reputation to your experience in that particular settlement. I mean, this is basically also, like, you can think of it like the New Vegas reputation. Like, you have reputations for different factions. Like, every faction is going to shoot you on sight if you really piss them off. So there's that too. That's another element. You can think of it that way. It's a more potential-filled system for you to go play with, because you are juggling the things you do, and you're juggling with who sees you do it. You're deciding whether you're okay with walking around the town with people thinking you're that. And if you're not, then there are things you can go and do to redress the balance. Or you could just pay the town crier to start shouting about a new reputation to overwrite old ones. Guys, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't like that. That's crazy. Deactivated LeBron. I don't know, man. So you can just wipe your reputation? I got to replay these games, because I'm like, were we able to reset our reputation at all in the originals? Where's your dog at? We need the dog with us. The dog is sleeping right now upstairs. Yeah, it sounds like you could before, kind of. Couldn't you pay people in Fable 2? Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, I think I'm like, yeah, that's why I was not committing to the bit. The churches. Yeah, temples to change rep. Okay. All right. That's what I was thinking. I was like, I don't know. I'm reading this. I'm like, I don't know. Okay. See, this is the difference between, you're watching real-time research, right? Is what you're watching. Like, when I go to make the video, this all gets accounted for. So thank you, chat. Appreciate the backup here. It's why we say our game will never judge you, but the people of Albion will. Some people have said, well, that's the same thing, surely, but in a diegetic way. It's really not, because different people in Albion will have different perspectives on the things you've done, which again kind of mirrors the real world. Okay. No mention of horns, but I think the overall system here that I'm reading, in conjunction with the open world and how NPCs react to you and how it plays off of, like we just established here, like you can go to like temples and whatnot. It seems to me like it's a compromise, but it doesn't seem too bad. At least what I feared. I think the problem I'm having is maybe that I'm not seeing the visual changes on our character. You could always reset, but it was always by doing good or bad deeds over and over. Then the aesthetics of the character would change depending on that. Yeah. So, okay. So it's about as manipulative as the original stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Morality is basically reputation is how it works. It's a reputation system. It's thinking about it as morality I think is where my brain's getting tripped up. Because I see some people in the chat like, bro, you want to hate it. It's like, I promise you I don't. I'm just trying to unpack my feelings in real time. As you guys know, I usually don't stream my feelings because I like to take the time to think, because I deal with people who are like, bro, you fucking hate these things. I'm like, at least when I go out and make a video on it, I have that time where I've thought about it. I'm like, yeah, this is the take I'm committing to. But I'm feeling it out in real time. So, okay. I feel like I'm coming to a better understanding of it, which is good. It's more of a reputation system than a morality system, but it's based on moral decisions you make, and that impact is with the NPCs, and they have to see you to have that impact. So I guess if you like kill someone out in the middle of nowhere, will towns not know about it, and that won't matter then? And the story choice is the one that changed the map. So, yeah. Okay. I'm coming around. I'm coming around the horn here. I do think there's a little bit more we need to see is ultimately where I'm at right now. Let's see here. I'm gonna refresh my page because I did miss a couple of super chats, so I apologize for that. Mewtwo said, okay, cool, but demon horns. Chris wants his demon horns back. Fable, though, they had dynamic body growth. Yeah, I know, Batman, you want dynamic body growth. Okay, maybe they can do it. I don't know, bro. I have low expectations nowadays, unfortunately. I bet life savings on the announcement of Fallout 3 Remastered. Well, I'm sorry. You're going to have to start recouping, bro. Epic Storm says, enjoy, Maddie. Enclave forever. They're not supposed to be innately evil, but they think they know what's best for the future. I hope the TV show doesn't think the Enclave is just pure evil. I hope not either. If you overeat in Fable, you can become obese. If you invest in your XP and strength, you become muscular. Sounds like a lot of fake Fable fans here. Batman's on the attack right now, bro. Fortunately, we have a product for people who don't like the morality system. It's called the Xbox 360 and backwards compatibility. Yeah, just port the games, bro. Put them on PlayStation. There you go. Soundtrack of Fable 1 in collaboration with Danny Elfman is one of the greatest of all time. Unfortunately, I have little faith with it will hit as hard as this reboot. It sounded pretty good from what I heard, you know. What else we got here? Your Dog in Fable 2. They spoiled me with that. Yeah. Fortunately, yeah. Okay, there we go. I caught up on all the super chats. Okay, let's keep reading. Let's keep reading here. Living Population is a fascinating addition. What does it offer players? Living Population is our cast of over 1,000 NPCs, each with roles, personalities, and routines. The whole concept of persistent NPCs, each of whom is unique in a whole bunch of ways that you can go and interact with and mess about with, is incredibly complex. When you start working on it, you realize that every settlement has enough houses and with enough beds for everyone in the settlement to go and sleep at the end of the day. It was a fun day when we explained the particular requirement to our environment team, but they rose to the challenge like they do with everything. In games, you don't normally have to connect the dots so precisely. You know, you're just building a nice looking town. But in Fable, it has to be a functional town. As an example, early in development, we couldn't work out why one town was so empty during the day. But when we zoomed out into debug mode, it was just because NPCs were getting up to go to work, but they lived too far away from their jobs. So they were walking to work, but they didn't get there before their schedules told them to turn back and go to bed. It's required a lot of working through, but it pays off because honestly, as you play the game, you get to know the names of the individual NPCs. I love that. I love this whole living population thing. That sounds really good. This sounds like, out of all the new additions they made, this sounds like the most positive one to me. I think that's a really cool feature. It appears to me that they're replacing the morality system, the relationship network seen in JRPGs like Xenoblade Chronicles. That's another good connection. I like that, the Xenoblade Chronicle ones. 1,000 NPCs, all unique. I've heard this before. I feel like when you say 1,000, my brain goes to Starfield. I don't know if that's where your brain's at, Puppet Master, but my brain goes to Starfield. 1,000 planets, all unique. Oh, man. Thank you guys for the super chats. Okay, how does it tie in the main quest? Tying the main quest and living population together is a really overt way. Didn't seem like the right way to go, so we've deliberately linked them to the lightest possible fashion. Okay, interesting. You know, there are some times when characters in the main quest will reference reputations or things you've done previously, but we never wanted to force a player to have to go and interact with those things in order to progress the quest. Okay, that makes sense. We know there are some players, we call them bards, who just play through the main story. They're going to start at the start and they're going to get to the end, and that's going to be their experience. It's entirely fine. It's a respectable way to play. But there are some players who we call architects who we know are going to go around and mess with the systems and just see where they can push them, see what they can achieve with it. And we want them to have the freedom to do that at any point as well. Okay. So, interesting. Things you've done previously. Okay. I'm glad this to me is the most important bit that I'm thinking of right now off the top of my head, that they're still responding to your reputation. But I guess it's what they're basically saying here without saying it is it sounds like if you're like a devilish piece of shit and someone from the living population doesn't like you, they'll still work with you. And the problem with that can be the Star Wars Outlaws reputation system, where these gangs that don't like you still have to work with you in the main quest, and you have a bit of ludonarrative dissonance, which I think can be a bit of an issue for a game like Fable more than others. But no side content is forced, which also someone who said that? Virus said that. That's also a good point. You don't have to indulge in the side content, which it sounds like this is going to be truly open world, truly free to experience, which I think does sound good. I do like that kind of open-ended free approach here. Okay. British humor is a big part of this game. We've seen British comedians in the cast. Can you tell us more about the comedic side? Manifests itself in a lot of different ways throughout the game. I think the living population are really funny because they react to you in a very dry British way. And yes, it's in the story and the characters you meet along the way. We have an amazing cast in this game. We'll talk more about the cast in the future. Okay, so they're tucking some stuff for the future. Again, that's keeping in with the original Fable games. So you go back and read their cast list, it's a who's who. We felt, okay, that's a challenge for us. We need to go and do something similar. We've got a sensational cast that you'll meet in the main story. We were inspired by the incredibly rich variety of British comedies that have been offered over the last 20 years, like Peep Show, The It Crowd, and so many others. We started with The Office, which again started out as quintessentially British, but also travels really, really well. Not just that IP, but a lot of techniques and devices that it's popularized. You know, it's a really grounded, awkward style of humor, which really appeals to us. I could get down with that. I love Office humor, bro. It's so funny. And the actors who've been in a lot of the shows, and indeed some of whom are in our game. They're known all over the world. The other cool thing about The Office is something that we've kind of nicked. You might have, or you may be seen in our trailers that we sort of have a mockumentary interview style. I think a lot of people assume we just did that for those trailers, but it's actually a device we use throughout the game. Okay. I like that. I like that because I think the way games are shot is very traditional. And so this is a way to explore in a different manner. I've never seen it in games before, but it allows you a way to tell a really neatly tell a joke or drop a little bit of character detail. I think that's good because it also plays into the fidelity of the game. Like you can see character reactions up close, that sort of thing. There's a lot more we haven't seen. Can you tease what else might we learn before the game arrives? Okay, this is a big one. One element we deliberately didn't touch on the Developer Direct is the main story beyond the opening quest. That's because, as I mentioned, there's also the cast, as I mentioned, and there's a lot of choice and consequence that happens along the way through. But honestly, Developer Direct for us is more about answering a bunch of questions we know people have about the game that we've been silent on for so long. This is an opportunity for the team making the game to talk about and answer some of the questions. Character customization is one that we were delighted to clear up. That's something that we've been sitting on for years now, but it's great to tell fans, of course, we have character customization. In Fable, you can be the hero you want to be. Okay. Launch in autumn. Before that, we'll be talking more about our cast, our story, go to deeper elements of the gameplay like combat, progression, weapons, exploration, social and economic sins, and all that good stuff. Okay. So, no mentioning yet of horns. All I'm looking for are the horns. We have another article here from Josh. And he said to me in a DM, shout out to Josh, he said there's some extra stuff here. They mentioned the character's appearance doesn't change based on action. So let's Control F. Appearance. Okay, here we go. The Dev Direct piece talked about a more fluid good and evil system. Morality. Will you physically change appearance like you did in the classic Fables? It's a sort of character morphing feature, obviously a really central part of the original games. It's not in ours, and I'll tell you why. There's probably a couple of reasons. One, I guess it's about the high-level principle I was talking about, that there's no objective good and evil. And the original games were predicated on that there being a objective good and objective evil. And you were somewhere along that scale. And that's predetermined with how your appearance change. Yeah. But for us, that doesn't really work. The way I've described a morality system working, you're never that thing, absolutely. You're different things to different people based on what they like or what they choose to value. So that's the one reason it didn't work. There's another reason, which in our game, you build a reputation based on the settlement, the town, the city that you're in, the part of the world that you're in. But when you go to a new place, a place you've never been to, you walk in without any reputation, and thus nobody knows what to think about you. And you can almost, through your behavior, through your choices, form completely different reputations, a completely different identity, if you like. In that place, from the place that you were last time, and then you can do that across all the locations of the game. Now, you could do that if you walked in with horns and a trident. Your reputation would precede you in that instance, and honestly, that ability to be completely in control of your identity and thus what people think of you felt more important to us than that legacy feature. So it worked great in those games. It didn't fit in ours, so we don't have it. It's a good answer. I get the mindset. It's a little disappointing, though. I appreciate Josh hooking us up with this. Yeah, it makes sense. Like, I get where they're coming from, because I know it's the thing we look at and we're like, oh, I'm angry about this. I get it. I'm not even trying to cope or defend, because I'm still disappointed by the information, but I also think about it from the design point of view. It's like, okay, yeah. What does that do to the whole game if you walk into a settlement and you are inherently evil and everyone thinks and registers you as an evil character? Like, it could destabilize the entire thing. That you have to make a game that could be somewhat predictable to polish it up. So it's a little bit of a bummer, but I think it's a good answer and I get it. I don't know if that means I have to like it. So, I don't know if it'll be a deal breaker. I think someone, it'll be like Fable 3. Yeah, Chase tries YouTube, put it perfectly. So, yeah, I wouldn't, no. Brycep said it's flat out lazy. I'm not there. I don't think it's lazy. This game didn't look lazy to me. This game is too big and ambitious to be lazy. I'm sorry. That whole living NPC population thing, people can say what they want. They can not like it. It's not fucking lazy, though. Let's not go there. But, yeah, I think the reputation system's interesting, right? Especially if the people react to you in interesting ways in different towns. Like, I think if the game's speaking to you constantly, which is what the original Fables did, I think it'll still get the idea across. But it seems like morality is not the word. It's just reputation. It's a reputation meter. So it's on the main quest and the writing and whatnot to really, I think, win the rest of us over. And I think it's cool that the world's going to... We're forgetting, too, the world's going to change based on our actions. Like, a guy's going to be dead on a hill if we kill him, and he's just going to be stuck there dead. I think that's also pretty cool. But, yeah, it is temporary. It is low-key, and I don't know how much reputation will matter when things like this are kind of being cut out. So, yeah. So, yeah, Josh put it perfectly. So if the environment can change based on actions too, then my thought goes to maybe that's how they were thinking about it a bit. Like, okay, if we can't change the character based on the actions, the environment can change based on the actions. And I don't know if that'll create the same idea for people, but that is still a level of reactivity that can reflect your good or evil choices, especially if some towns get really fucked up. Like, one thing they didn't show is like what we looked at in the Fable concept art, where, we like... In the concept art, we saw like the same hamlet completely destroyed. And I wonder if that's what happens over time as you do treat it more like shit. I think that would be really cool. I would say this. I'm like currently reading it all. I'm like decently excited. I'm excited enough to feel comfortable to go into a Fable trilogy replay, but it also feels a little worthless because it feels like none of the story matters. Like, for every good thing the game's kind of doing, I do feel like there's something that's offsetting it from a fan point of view. Like, the reboot makes sense. It's still a little disappointing. The reputation system makes sense. It's still a little disappointing. The living NPCs or population looks amazing. I love that. The combat looks really good. The open world looks beautiful and diverse. Seeing Bowerstone fully realized, like, it's incredible. So I'm decently excited. I just have a couple of snags that I hope the game justifies itself with, right? Especially with how Witcher inspired is. I hope it can only surpass something like that. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm mixed. I think that's kind of going to be how I labeled the video. I'm a little mixed. I want to read around some more. I see how the audience is feeling. It's a little bit, I think a lot more of you guys in the chat seem to be amped up compared to me. But I don't think my concerns are invalid, and I'm not going to shy away from them because a lot of you are yelling at me. But yeah, I feel like it's too early to call. I think there'll be a lot of rage baiting about this game, no doubt. I think unlike Veilguard, where a lot of people are trying to say this is the next Veilguard, I don't look at this game and immediately go like, yep, here we go. Like, yep. Like I didn't get any telltale signs like, oh, that's going to be bad. But I do see some differences in how they're thinking about the game, which get me a little bit on edge here. Here we got Pro Wabbits. This is my problem with a lot of his answers is that they're trying to add realism to the game. This isn't supposed to be KCD2. It's supposed to be Fable. Yeah, but the design philosophy is a little bit different too. So, yeah, it's a tug of war kind of thing. I think it looks great though. It does look great. I just think I got to readjust my expectations, right? Because you saw my video. I was like, I need the Fable. I need the morality meter. I need... They answered... If I go back and watch that video, they answered most of the things I want. There's just a couple of things I'm grappling with. But yeah. Anyway, I got to split. I got Defining Duke in 25 minutes. So I got to go get ready for that. It's going to be myself, Cog, Gene Park. It's going to be a great show. We're going to talk about this. Before I do that, I'm going to record a video real quick, probably. We're going to see how much information I can squeeze in here before I send it off to our editor, Dan. But shout out to everyone who hung out today. Appreciate your support across the super chats. Appreciate the challenges in the chat on Fable and just kind of where we're at in that conversation. But overall, appreciate you all being here. I don't know when we'll be live. I don't know if we'll be live again this week because I have a busy end of the week here with a collab I'm doing and some meetings I have and stuff. But we'll be live again next week, so you can look forward to that. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. This is awesome. Finally got some answers on Fable. Finally got to lay eyes on it. But with that, I'll catch all of you very shortly. Peace out.